All right, y'all. We can praise, esteem, and honor the Abba and Shamaim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Uh, let's pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. You will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. And if another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you, the Abba, as one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how could you believe my words? All esteem and praise of Abba and Shamaim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Shalom, Brother Marvin. Peace, Brother Joseph, man. Shalom, Mika. Shalom, Mama Steph. I should have cut that junk off.
What the heck is on there?
Yeah, I ain't even know that junk was on there like that. Shalom, Brother Marvin, man. I ain't really know about that. Let's go to, come on, Numbers chapter 7, man. Verse 85. Y'all bear with me, man, because that junk hit the 1,000, so that junk monetized the channel. And I think they got ads on this stream. I got to figure out how to cut that off.
Each charger of silver weighing 130 shekels, each bowl 70. All the silver vessels weighed 2,400 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
The golden spoons were 12, full of incense, weighing 10 shekels apiece after the shekel of the sanctuary. All the gold of the spoons was 120 shekels. All the oxen for the burnt offerings were 12 bullocks, the rams 12, the lambs of the first year 12 with the meat offering, and the kids of the goats for sin offering 12. And all the oxen for the sacrifice of the peace offerings were 24 bullocks, the rams 60, the he-goats 60, the lamb of the first year 60. This was the dedication of the altar. After that, it was anointed.
Hey, y'all, if an ad come on, let me know, because I'm looking at something that say I can delay them. Peace, Brother Omar. Shalom, Brother Robert. So I can hit that button. Go ahead, man.
And when Moses was gone into the tabernacle of the congregation to speak with him, then he heard the voice of one speaking unto him from off the mercy seat that was upon the ark of testimony.
Speaking on him from where?
From off the mercy seat.
That's right.
That was upon the ark of the testimony, from between the two cherubims, and he spake unto him.
Listen, y'all. I'm going to interject something else in here which is relevant to what we're discussing, because I probably heard the dumbest conversation that I've ever heard in 2026. Might be in a long time, but certainly the dumbest conversation I heard in 2026. And it's quite unfortunate because some of these individuals teach other people the word. And you know what I'm saying? I interjected like at the end of the conversation because I was doing stuff. So I was in and out, and I was listening to a couple of records. So I was in and out. You know what I'm saying? But the response was just baffling, to say the least. But we talking about the mercy seat, right? So I want you to come over here to Leviticus 16, first quarter. Let's hit Leviticus 16, first quarter. Shalom, Sister Regina. Again, y'all, if ads pop up, let me know so I can just constantly hit this button to delay them. Because I'm gonna have to look on here to see how to cut them off. Did ads ever run before?
I had one pop up before the stream when the stream like started, and that was it.
Yeah, because I got YouTube Premium, so I ain't seen an ad in years. You know what I'm talking about? What's up, Jay? Yeah, I ain't seen an ad in years. So. Peace, man. Let's hit Leviticus 16, man.
Start from verse 1. Mm-hmm. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses.
My bad, Leviticus 16:1.
And Yahuwah spake unto Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron when they offered before Yahuwah and died.
And Yahuwah said unto what?
Moses, speak unto Aaron your brother that he come not at all times into the Kadash place within the veil before the mercy seat, which is upon the ark, that he died not.
Yeah.
For I will appear in the cloud upon the mercy seat.
Hold on, Sister. Do me a favor. This is going to be into what I'm going to be interjecting. Go to Leviticus 17 and 10 for me. Now, what we finna discuss, it was, all right. No, that joint saying resume. Let me delay. All right, frame this here, man. This is something that we done discussed that y'all already know. You know what I'm saying? So And it's about the blood. Because there was an actual conversation that when Yahushua rose from the dead, that he rose from the dead with blood in him. And that when he ascended into heaven, he had blood in him. And I asked a grown man, when we resurrect from the dead, are we going to have blood in us? This nigga said yes. I said, so you mean to tell me a decomposed body with no bones, he's going to reanimate you with blood in you, man? Something that's corruptible? Blood coagulate. Do niggas know what happens when you die? What happened to your blood, cuz? Let me read to y'all what happened to your blood when you die, man. This is what happens to blood after death. When you die, your blood circulation ceases, and it causes the blood to pool in the body's lowest points due to gravity, lividity, and creates a reddish purplish skin discoloration. The blood breaks down and turns acidic and separates. With red blood cells breaking down, yeah, they're going to keep running them. Oh, God damn. I might have to start this over because I ain't with this here. Breaking down to release enzymes, it eventually turns dark brown red, thickens, and clots, later contributing to the greenish black discoloration of decomposition. You know, then of course you got liver mortis, coagulation, breakdown, separation, bacteria action. So eventually it dissipates. They must be running them whole back to back. God damn. Well, okay, I got it on there where they paused. So I know what to do now to just keep hitting. It looks like when I was hitting what I thought was pausing, it was making them run. So I just got to keep hitting the pause button.
You said the delay is good for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's what it said. I just got to keep hitting it. Slow down, man. Then I'd look on there to see how to cut that off.
They said you guys turn off the monetization.
Yeah, I got to cut that off. But nevertheless, so when I asked this individual, like this is the crazy part, because they thinking it is talking about something different than what it's discussing. This just tells me that individuals really don't believe the word. Now, how does this relate to the mercy seat? It's going to get to what we're going to read in Hebrews 10, and of course, you know Daniel 9 and 25. You understand? So let's do it like this here. Now, like I said, right, well, I'm going to mention this several times, right? Most of y'all in the group chat already seen this, but this is for our people who are out of town. The particular sanctuary that we've been in, the pastor there is going to allow us to use it continually. He told us, hey, 2 Saturdays, $250 a month. The whole month, $500 a month. Now, we've never had any expenses of any type reoccurring outside of feast days. So that means as a collective, if we all sit here week in and week out, 3 times a week, well over half the year, pretty much out here like a wrestler in the 90s, there's no reason and no excuse for us to not be able to, because I have an entire thought process of what we can be able to do in this building. I've had this thought process before I even knew this man existed. You know what I'm talking about? Of what we'll be able to do as far as further in the word is concerned. And $500 is a Godfather deal, because I'm going to tell you like this here, man. We're in a situation where, just like where you read in the law, where there's houses that you didn't build, vineyards that you didn't plant, and wells that you didn't dig, and you just slide in. You know what I'm talking about? No pause. You understand? It's like on real deal. So, and we're going to be in the hood. So that means that there's other things that we're going to, when I say this, I'm talking about the grimiest, treacherous, you know what I'm saying, murderous neighborhood in Jacksonville, Florida. You know what I'm talking about? So, yeah. Now, of course, this giant able man, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, I'm probably only going to mention this for, like, maybe the next couple of weeks, and then I'm not going to mention it no more. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's where we at with it. $500 ain't a lot. Everybody come through regularly. You know what I'm saying? For those who don't know, I don't deal with the money anyway. But just for full disclosure, I can go live on YouTube monthly and let me know what went in and where it went to and all that. I don't care nothing about that because we done did that previously when individuals gave money around like 2015, 2016, because that's how we bought a camera, laptop, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Letting you know what stuff going there ain't no big deal. Now that this junk on here, man, you know, you can send super chats and all that old, you know, stuff like that. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, part of the monetization process is to be able to draw revenue to be able to go towards that expense. Because now when we be able to have events, have a central location, be able to do some other things, to be able to reach more people locally. You know what I'm saying? Things of that sort. So yeah, there's that. I might mention that again towards the end. Come on, sis, what I have to read?
Leviticus 17:10.
Listen, now listen, right? So this individual told me this man gonna resurrect from the dead with blood. These men said the Lord, that Yahushua HaMashiach himself, resurrected from the dead with blood and ascended into the heavenly tabernacle with blood in him. Sit in the heavenly tabernacle with blood in him. Oh, I can put the Cash App thing in a second. Give me a second. Make sure I can because it's a congregation Cash App. It ain't not. So there it is. I think that's it. That's it. I spelled that right. Yeah, I spelled that right. But yeah, I mean, y'all can donate stuff on here through this thing here, but I'm gonna tell you, YouTube take a third. So yeah, if you don't want to fool with that, then that's what it is. But yeah, YouTube take a third. But nevertheless, yeah, because now that we hit 1,000, I can go live on my phone. So yeah, monthly, I can just go live and lay that out. That ain't no big deal. I don't give a damn. But see, I can switch it and make it subscriber only. Like they got membership thing, but none of y'all don't need to be paying for no membership, man. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't making no members only video. Now I'm saying, like, yeah, don't do that. Yeah, don't pay for that. Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. Go ahead.
And whatsoever man there be of the house of Yasharal or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eat any manner of blood, I will even set my face against the soul that eat blood, and will cut him off from among his people. For the life of the flesh is in the blood.
Life of the what?
Of the flesh is in the blood.
Life of the what?
Of the flesh.
Of the what?
Of the flesh.
This why these niggas stupid. Because he said the life of the flesh is in the what?
In the blood.
Now go ahead and read me John 6:63. That's right. Yahushua was walking through walls with blood in him. Who knew? Who knew?
It is the ruach that quicken, the flesh profit nothing.
Amen, Dap.
The words that I speak unto you, they are ruach and they are life.
The words that I speak unto you, they are what?
Are ruach and our life.
Do another favor, man. Hit me 2 Corinthians chapter 3. Give me verse 5. Emma, I was going to run that down the captain, and I was like, you know what? Man, bump that junk. I don't even feel like it. Once I got that response, I was like, you know what? I'm good. Because I could already tell that they were about to shift in the aspect, indeed, of mocking because they think they're right. And I'm just going to let you have that. Yeah, I'm just going to let you have that. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Not that we are sufficient of ourselves to think anything as of ourselves.
That's
our
right.
Sufficiency is of Elohim.
It's of who?
Elohim.
What else?
Who also have made us able ministers of the New Testament.
What else?
Not of the letter, but of the Ruach.
Not of the what?
Not of the letter, but of the Ruach.
Because the letter do what?
Kill.
But the Ruach do what?
Give life.
See, this is what they don't understand. He said the life of the flesh is in the west, is it?
In the blood.
So the life of the spirit is not in the blood. Now, like I said, right, it still can integrate beautifully, swimmingly, if you would, simply because of, this is what the mercy seat of the seat of reconciliation was intended to bring about in the first place. You understand what I'm saying? But come on back to Leviticus 17 and 11. You did? And we're going to rock it out like that.
For the life of the flesh is in the blood.
In the what?
In the blood.
What else?
And I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your soul.
Atonement for your soul.
For it is the blood that make an atonement.
He said he gave the blood to make for a what?
An atonement.
See, this is how you know that flesh and blood, it can't enter, because you don't need no atonement in the kingdom of heaven, you big dummy. You know what I'm talking about? Read the definition for atonement for people. That junk really pissed me off because them niggas was mocking. Like, y'all sound stupid. No, you sound stupid. You know what I'm talking about? And it's not stupid because you hold the thought process. Stupid that you present yourself as a skilled scribe and teacher of the word, and you don't know all the finer points to, because they looking at where say Jesus had blood, and man, you supposed to know the word well enough for that, bro. I actually told one of them that, like, you can't pick up what he putting down. Remember what 50 Cent said on Many Men? I gotta spell it out for you. You can't read between the lines. What's wrong with you? Where you understanding that? See, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I get it too. You know, the trend of what does it explicitly say that at? And that's cool. You know what I'm talking about? That's cool. But you're supposed to have understanding to be able to derive what is actually being communicated. You understand what I'm telling you? And when you don't have proper understanding, then there's going to be an issue. There's going to be an issue. You did? Now, I know I'm being a little animated with it because they were really pissing me off because it sounds dumb. You know what I'm saying? And individuals were trying to equate this to when he said, eat my flesh and drink my blood in John 6, when 1 Corinthians 15 is talking about the resurrection of the dead. So these are a false equivalent. But again, read that again for him. Save it. Verse 11, man. Tell him what the blood is for.
For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I've given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that make an atonement.
It's the blood that make an atonement for the soul. So pause.
An atonement was kafar.
Kafar, which y'all already know. Purge, atonement, reconciliation, to cover. You understand? If you in the kingdom of heaven, what do you need blood for? What is being atoned for? There is no atonement. You know why? Because as we read in Isaiah 4, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, and the nigga said that as in heaven on earth, because it's blood on earth, so heaven must be on earth. Because the kingdom of heaven gonna be on earth. The kingdom of heaven coming down from heaven, boy. At this point, you saying the Father got blood, man. Bro, nigga even said there ain't no heavenly realm, bro. Nigga said there ain't no heavenly realm, bro. You know how dangerous that is, man? When this man say this stuff plainly, bro. Plainly. Bro, we done talk about why this man ain't had. Listen, and Mama pointed this out when we was having this conversation. He literally told Thomas, man, put your hand through my holes in my body. If I can put my hands through the holes in your body, where the blood at? Why his hand ain't come back with no blood, cuz? Sometimes I be tripping on some stuff like, how is this even a conversation? To where individuals think that this is a battle, bro. They were battling about this for 2 days. I kid you not. I was listening, but I wasn't listening. I caught the end of it. You know what I'm saying? No, because sometimes I don't be listening. That don't be playing that bit, but I don't be listening. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I come in there and troll and then slide. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, but like I said, I want you to read me Daniel 9:24 on general principle. And after that, Hebrews 9:1. We come back to Leviticus 16 because I'm finna walk Leviticus 16 down. We haven't walked Leviticus 16 down from verse 1 to the conclusion since 2015. I know that for a fact. You know what I'm saying? Because we did it on Day of Atonement 2015, and we ain't did it since. That was right around the time my cousin died. Go ahead.
70 weeks are determined upon your people and upon your Kadash city to finish the transgression, to make an end of sins.
Make an end of what?
An end of sins.
What else?
To make reconciliation for iniquity, to bring an everlasting righteousness, to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most Kadash.
Now we know, make reconciliation for iniquity or for the punishment of iniquity. You understand? What is everlasting righteousness? Clearly, that's the Ruach HaKodesh. this is going to bring forth life. Now, he told you it's the Ruach that make alive. So understand, now we have a conundrum. Because if the life of the flesh is in the blood, but the Ruach is what gives life, these things are opposed to each other. Now, y'all know we're going to look at Ezekiel 37 because this is the framework that y'all already, because we done dealt with this before. Now, in the certain framework of the schools of thought of the individuals who we were speaking to, they look at Ezekiel 37 as Israel being woken up to their nationality. There's absolutely nothing that can be said to an individual to change their mind about that. But I wanted to go to Daniel 9 because if it's reconciliation for iniquity, that means we have to talk about the Day of Atonement. And if we're talking about the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I gave it for atonement, that means this still keeps us at the mercy seat. You understand? And what does this mercy take us back to for him to make reconciliation for iniquity? The iniquity that happened in the garden. And because of that iniquity that happened in the garden, that allows you to become, because Adam was flesh and blood. He wasn't Ruach. Because this man literally, bro, if you would have heard how this man tried to break down, the first Adam was of the earth, earthy, and the second Adam was of the of heaven, bro, you'd have threw up in your mouth. And I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is supposed to be one of Israelite heavy hitters too. Nigga cool as hell, don't get it twisted. But that nigga sounded stupid today though. He's still my nigga. You know what I'm saying? I told her, I said, boy, you sound goddamn crazy. So don't think I ain't just saying this here and I ain't saying it when he was sitting right there. I said that to him, but you sound goddamn crazy, man. I said, well, you got it, boy. Mom do say, hey, we're going to write a book about it. I said, I'll put the work on the street for it tonight so you can have what you need for it. And that's why we're talking about. We're going to put it out here tonight. We literally just had a conversation like 2 hours ago. No cap. Come on, sir. Hebrew 9:1.
Then truly the first covenant had also ordinance of divine service in the worldly sanctuary.
That's right.
For there was a tabernacle made, the first, wherein was the candlestick, the table, and the shewbread, which is called the sanctuary.
Sanctuary.
And after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the holiest of all.
That's right.
Which had the
now we're gonna come back and look at that too, so you can understand the curtain. You know what I'm saying? Which is the veil, because you got all that. Go ahead.
Saying the Ark of the Covenant overlaid round about with gold.
I try to do the stuff with the veil, all that on Wednesday, because that's procedural stuff. You know, y'all don't like that type of stuff. It ain't provocative. It don't get the people going. Go ahead.
And Aaron's rod that budded in the tables of the covenant.
That's right.
And over it, the cherubims of esteem, shadowing the mercy seat.
Shadowing the what?
The mercy seat.
Go ahead. And I ain't even get to them cherubims Wednesday night. I got to do that tonight too. Come on.
Of which we cannot now speak particularly.
Now,
when these things were thus ordained,
the priest
went always into the first tabernacle
to accomplish
the service of
our.
Now,
notice you got an outer court, you got the inner court. You understand? So you would have the Levites went in behind that first curtain, but he about to mention it to you. Only the high priest could go behind that second curtain. Go ahead, man.
The Ruach HaKodesh this said, but into the second went the high priest alone once. Every year.
Not without
blood.
Listen, Yahusha, he ain't got to do that. You know what I'm saying? What is he bringing blood in there for? Why he got blood? He already shed it. Bro, we was literally talking about this here, right? I'm like, bro, they hit the man in the side. Well, it don't say all his blood poured out. Well, nigga, if a nigga hit you with a spear on the side, what you think gonna happen to the blood in your body, man? Brother John say, out came out blood and water. And said, where you think the blood went? You think it went back in his body? Because literally, listen, this is what people don't understand. Did he go into full decomposition? Absolutely not. You know what I'm talking about? But when you talk about what we just read, boy, within minutes, your body starts breaking stuff down. You understand? This is part of the reason. How long it said Lazarus was in the grave, folks?
This was 4.
She said it. She said what? By this time he what? He stink. You know what I'm talking about? Because I was just looking at something right. I ain't never heard. Y'all ever heard of that singer David? I ain't never heard of this nigga before. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, talking about the one that got that court case going?
Yeah, I had never heard of this nigga before until they found a little girl body. Do you understand this nasty nigga was messing with this girl when she was 11 years old and he was 17? But I mentioned that because they found her body in the trunk and they say they opened it up because it was in a tow yard because it was giving off an atrocious odor. Now, most of us have never smelled a dead body. You probably smelled a dead animal. You can take the smell of a dead animal and multiply that by 100. As far as a dead body is concerned. You understand? But nevertheless, come on with it, Zibo. Now, I didn't mention that. I mentioned that because that nigga there was a psychopath. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga certified. I told Deidre, I say either this nigga is the most naive, infantile-minded individual in the history of mankind, or he's a psychopath. You know what I had to go with, Civic? Psychopath. Go ahead.
Okay, but into the second one, the high priest alone once every year, not without blood, which he offered for himself
and
for the errors of the people.
The Ruach.
HaKadosh, this signifying that the way into the Kadash of all was not yet made manifest, while as the first tabernacle was yet standing, which was a figure for the time then present, in which were offered both gifts and sacrifices that would not make him that did the service perfect, as pertaining to the conscience.
Now, this is referring to the Day of Atonement explicitly. Go ahead.
Which stood only in meats and drinks and diverse washings and cardinal ordinances imposed on them until the time of Reformation.
But a Mashiach,
being come high priest of good things to come,
by a greater
and more perfect.
See, the problem with a lot of people, man, is they want that same tabernacle that's made with hands. They don't want this greater, more perfect tabernacle that's not pitched by man but the Lord. They don't want that. Because see, if you get the body that's not flesh and blood, that's something that's fashioned by the hands of God and not man. These people don't want that. Go ahead, man.
Say not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building.
Neither.
By the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered in once into the Kadash place.
Having
or obtained eternal redemption.
Bringing in everlasting righteousness. Go ahead.
For the blood of bulls and of goats and the ashes of a heifer, sprinkling the unclean, sanctified to the purifying of the flesh.
How much more
shall the blood of a Mashiach, who through the eternal Ruach offered himself without spot
to do what?
Purge the conscience from dead works to serve the living Elohim.
No, I don't think it's a new doctrine, Mika. It was just a new argument. Niggas arguing. And the conversation came from something else and spawned into that. They were arguing something about Lazarus. But it was funny though, Emma, because they definitely pulled off what Monsignor said. He was like, Monsignor said, when you're ready to write another book, let me know. I say, shoot, I don't know what to write about. He said, man, just sit in these rooms long enough and listen to these dumb teachings these individuals got. You'll come up with something. And lo and behold, not even 24 hours later, come back to Leviticus 16:1, man, because Monsignor shout out, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Saying Yahuwah spake unto Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron, when they offered before Yahuwah and died. Yahuwah said unto Moses, speak unto Aaron your brother that he what? Come not at all times into the Kadash within the veil.
Notice, he couldn't even come in at all times behind the veil to the mercy seat. Yahushua don't have that issue. Go ahead.
Into the Kadash within the veil before the mercy seat, which is upon the ark, that he died not.
I will what?
Appearing the cloud upon the mercy seat.
He said, don't come in here like that. He said he can't come in here like that. He said not at all times. That means guess what? The only time Aaron went in there, Civic will win. On atonement. He just couldn't just regularly say, I'm just going to pop up before the throne of God and come holler at him. You know what I'm talking about? Come over here to 1 Kings chapter 8, man. And this just is for more informational purposes. 8:1. Now, I told y'all, man, when it comes to this particular matter with the mercy seat, I'm going to seek to be as thorough as possible and exhaustive as possible. So that means everything that pertains to it, from the construction of the ark to the loops, because we done dealt with that before as far as testimony is concerned. It's been a long time. To the curtains, we're going to touch all of it. Every bit of it. We're not going to leave nothing unturned. That's a fact. That's a fact. Go ahead.
Then Solomon assembled the elders of Yasharal and all the heads of the tribes, the chiefs of the fathers,
Mhm.
the children of Yasharal, unto King Solomon in Jerusalem,
That they might
bring up the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah
out of what?
the city of David,
Which is
Zion.
all the men.
Yasharal assembled themselves unto King Solomon at the feast in the month Ethanim,
Which is what?
the 7th
So if they all assemble themselves, what feast is this? It's tabernacles and or what you call it?
And gathering.
No, that's tabernacles. Trumpets. Come on. But in this instance, it's tabernacles based off what we can read in 2 Chronicles 6. Go ahead.
It said, and all the elders of Yasharal came, and the priests took up the ark.
And they brought up
the ark of Yahuwah in the tabernacle of the congregation.
And the Kadash.
Vessels that were in the tabernacle.
Even those.
Did the priests and the Levites bring up.
And Solomon.
And all the congregation of Yasharal that were assembled unto him were with him before the ark.
Sacrificing.
Sheep and oxen that could not be told nor numbered for multitude.
And the priests.
Brought in the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah.
Into
his place, into the oracle of the house.
The most Kadash.
Place even under the wings of the cherubim.
So listen. The oracle is, well, you can give it a definition, but it's referring to the Kadash of Kadash or the Holy of Holies.
That's the Kadash of Kadash, the innermost room of the temple.
The innermost room of the temple. You know what I'm talking about? See, now, like when he say the kingdom of Elohim is within you, that mercy seat or that seat of atonement, that seat of reconciliation, that's supposed to be in your oracle or in your heart, in your innermost part. You know what I'm talking about? Will show forth that he reigns there, that he has dominion there, and that you've been reconciled to him. You know what I'm saying? I see people mention a lot of things about a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? An elder brother in the word that a lot of people hold in high regard. I ain't have a lot of conversations with him. Just passed away. You know what I'm saying? Sukkah Maccabees is his name. You know what I'm saying? You will have mercy on his soul. You know what I'm talking about? His main thing was focusing on like people getting married because his wife passed away. You know what I'm saying? He's an older gentleman. He wasn't just a shade under 60. You know what I'm talking about? But a lot of people get this word for the wrong thing. Some people want to get in this here because they want a wife. Some want husbands. Some people want a lot of things. Your focus is not Yahuwah. This is part of the reason why 1 Corinthians 7 say what it say, that when you dolo, you can focus on how you can please the Lord. When you get married, you got to focus on how you're going to please your spouse. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I'm only mentioning that part, not for the aspect of pleasing the spouse, but for the aspect of everybody, unless you were already married, like you would need a time period where you can just focus solely on the word with no distraction. You know what I'm talking about? Because it's going to aid in your growth and development. You know what I'm saying? Now, I mention that because you have to have the ability to blunt, because everybody don't want to be married. When I say want to be married, that's not their motivation. I'm just telling you this here because I knew men who came into this like, it don't make no sense. There's so many single men in this here. Like, bro, that's what y'all focused on, bro? Is getting a wife? Nah, man, you need to be focused on your development. You understand? You horny, my nigga. Get control of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Why does your loins rule you? You did? So when you sit back and you look at the aspect of what we have to get at, because this man done pulled the move, you understand? How is this man going to be able to have dominion and rule in your lab, in your innermost part, if everything else got dominion and rule over you? Meaning, whatever it is that you're desiring after. I don't know what you're desiring after, but you do. You know what I'm saying? So when he say the Malkuth for Shamahim is within you, that man mercy seat of his throne is supposed to be within you so that he can rule. Remember, what did he say about the gospel? That you declare under Zion that what? Your Elohim reigns, that he has dominion. We already know he got dominion over heaven and the earth, but he want to have dominion in you. Remember what it said in Leviticus, man, that I might walk in them and dwell in them. You understand what I'm telling you? Because people get the game twisted because you think, oh, he say he don't dwell in temple made with hands, so that means you ain't got to have a sanctuary. That's just a simplistic man's point of view because he's a simpleton. No, he doesn't dwell in brick and mortar. He's always wanted to dwell in man. Remember, Solomon told you that the heavens of heavens can't contain you. How much more than this building that I built? So the issue come in that if we don't be wanting this man to dwell in us, and this is why we can have a full-fledged argument about did Yahushua got blood in him when he resurrected from the dead, and niggas actually take this serious. Go ahead, man. Because I was flabbergasted. When I'm telling y'all, man, when I asked this grown man, you telling me we gonna resurrect from the dead with blood in us? And the nigga said, yeah. I said, yeah, I'm gone. I'm gone, man. If I still smoke weed, I'd have to roll me a split. I ain't tell you no lie. No, it popped something up where I can just hit and delay ads over and over and over again. Now, I think I've seen something, but I misconstrued what it read where I said I could just cut them off. And it said it just, you're not going to make that much. I don't care about that. Go ahead. We have to get that junk on the playbacks. Go ahead.
For the cherubim spread forth their two wings over the place of the ark.
They spread forth the what?
Their two wings. Over
now, we got to talk about that. Let me ask you a question, Sylvie, while it's in my brain, in case I forget it, right? Cherubim covering, right? Mm-hmm. Where else you read about cherubim covering, man? That's sharp, boy. Now listen, do me a favor, right? Read that verse again.
Say, for the cherubim spread forth their two wings over the place of the ark, and the cherubims covered the ark and the stage thereof above.
Hey, you can go pick Deidre up. You know what a salon at? Mm-hmm. Oh, damn, I asked you. You've been in there. That's tripping. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, man, because Muffin sleep. I think all of them sleep. That boy sleep? Mm-hmm. Just take this a lot of dough.
Oh, I got my car.
No, I'm saying take that a lot of dough. Oh. That's not the car key. So check it, right? What I want you to pay attention to is he said how the two wings cover the place of the ark and the cherubims cover the ark. And I think we read already in Exodus 25 how the wings cover the mercy seat. I want y'all to walk over here to hold on, let me finish reading all this here before we keep on going. I'll read verse 6 again because I can't even remember what last part he read. This 1 Kings 8:6. And the priest brought in the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah into his place, into the oracle of the house, to the most Kadash, under the wings of the cherubims. For the cherubim spread forth two wings over the place of the ark, and the cherubims covered the ark and the staves thereof above. And they drew out the staves, that the end of the staves were seen out in the Kadash before the oracle, and they were not seen without, and there they are unto this day. Nothing in the ark save the two tables of stone, which Moses put there at Horeb when Yahuwah made with the sons of Yasharal when they came out of the land of Mizraim. Now, I want you to walk over here to Ezekiel 28. Now, you know, a lot of people look at Ezekiel 28 and they say that's the devil. That's unfortunate. Now, the thing that you can sit back when you see consistently with cherubims or cherubs for the most part is that they cover things. That's what you see. I want you to come over here to Ezekiel 28 and 11. I'll read verse 7 because that's just how I feel right now. You could make it verse 6 just on the house, just because I feel like dropping that in there since we talking about him shedding blood. Thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, because you have set your heart as the heart of Elohim. Now, of course, y'all know in John 10, he said, I and my Abba are one, and they sought to stone him, for him being a man maketh himself Elohim. You know what I'm talking about? Listen to what he say though. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon you, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of your wisdom and shall defile your brightness. Now, when we look at defile your brightness, what does this mean? What is being communicated? This is for those who don't know what this is. Most of y'all who've been around here, y'all know what this is. Now, he said the beauty of your wisdom. First thing first, when you look at beauty, this is your faith, Yod and Pei. This is beauty. Now, this is the first thing that you would have to ask yourself this question. Of course, you know that's Kokma, that's wisdom, skill in war. What wisdom does Satan have? And you think the wisdom that the devil has is beautiful? And this is the question. Who told you that Satan had beautiful wisdom, and why did you believe them? Like straight up and down. This is the same conundrum that people get when they hear us say like, oh yeah, we examine the text. Man, we don't see that Lucifer is the devil. You're only seeing that because somebody told you that. But when we know that he said, search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they're testifying of me. And lo, I come in the volume of the book, it's written of me. I'm not finna let some goofy nigga tell me that's the devil because that's what some cracker told you. And now you running with it, and now you upset because I was telling somebody yesterday, you know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas come from the Christian church, if you would, and they become bruised, and they see that somebody's selling them bad dope, and they don't be wanting to let that bad dope go because they be like, boy, I got God again. Like I seen people ridicule Deacon the car, right? Because they was like, are you changing your doctrine? Regardless if you agree with what he done changed to or not, it take a man to be able to be like, hey, somebody taught me wrong and I'm going to change it. I'm not going to hold to that no more. You know what I'm saying? It take a man to do that. Because you got to stand in front of all these people and say, boy, I was selling bad dope. I was selling bad dope, man. You know what I'm saying? No, dude's wild. Some people can't do that. You know what I'm saying? And some people can. But I noticed that with people, man. Nobody does, because that's embarrassing to them. So the pastor got me, now the elder get me. But you really getting got because you're not searching the scriptures daily to see if those things are so. I've always told you ain't got to believe nothing that we go over. Go examine the text for yourself. Because your faith and hope should be in Elohim, not enticing words of man's wisdom. It should be in God. And you should be able to line that up. And if it line up with the witness of God, where esteem redounds back to the Father in heaven through the person of Yahushua HaMashiach, then you know what it is and what it ain't. Stuff is not hard, but the reality is that everybody is looking for somebody else to do it for them, or we only reading the word so we can battle and argue with people. Meanwhile, your soul's not redeemed. So this is why we could literally think that the Lord resurrected from the dead with blood in him, and that he ascended into the heavenly tabernacle with blood in him. Because we don't even know the law well enough to know if the life of the flesh is in the blood, and the ruach is what makes alive, then you know this man ain't had no blood in him. And if he said that his father is a ruach, that Elohim is a ruach, and then Paul let you know that he's declared to be the son of Elohim by the resurrection of the dead and the Ruach HaKadosh, that means he didn't come up out the grave the same way he went in it. Like, we're supposed to know that. Like, that's fundamental information. I ain't even gonna say fundamental. Man, that's I don't want to say that's opening information, man. That's like entering in ninth grade information, man. Freshman year of college information, man. That's not even nothing deep or complex. That ain't no mystery. That's the basics, man. That's like going into basic training and learning how to take your rifle apart and clean it. You don't even know how to take your gun apart. You don't know how to clean that up? God damn it. Ezekiel chapter 28, man. I didn't read the file, bro. I'm sorry, man. That just got me frustrated. And it's not the frustration with the doctrinal stance. It's the aspect of these are people who teaching large amounts of people. And if they don't even understand the fundamentals of salvation or what this man worked, well, we have a problem. You know what I'm talking about? This is not about them as individuals. This is about how many people think like this. How are we going to be redeemed if we thinking like this, bro? That's dangerous, man. That's dangerous, man. Let's look at defile. That is kalal, to profane, to defile, to pollute, to make common. Man, what you on? To treat is common. To wound, fatally. To bore through, to pierce. So we can look at it, defile, or we're gonna wound you fatally. What is your brightness? Your fire, your splendor, your brightness, your shining, your beauty. Remember, it states in Isaiah 53, there was no beauty in him that we should desire him. So when they seen him, they defiled his beauty, the beauty of his wisdom. And they fatally wounded the man. But let's continue. Verse 8, Ezekiel 28, and they shall bring you down to the pit. Well, we know that he went to the pit, and he shall die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. Will you say that before him that slay you, I am Elohim? He said, if he be the son of God, let him come down from that tree then. But you shall be a man and no Elohim in the hand of him that slay you. And when that earthquake came and that veil in that temple rent, that man said, surely this man is the son of Elohim. You shall die the death of the uncircumcised by the hand of strangers. And who put him to death? Strangers, Romans. For I have spoken it, saith Yahuwah Elohim. Moreover, the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, Son of Adam, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyrus, and say unto him, thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, you seal up the psalm, full of wisdom, perfect in beauty. You have been in Eden. Now we know full well the king of Tyrus wasn't in no Eden. And the precious stone was your covering, the sardius, the topaz, the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of tabrets and of your pipes was prepared in the day that you was created. See, people see that pipes right there, right? And they say, see, that's Satan because he was the angel over the minister of music. Boy, that's not what that mean, boy. Them people lied to you, man. When you got pipes, that's Nikel, noon. Kuf and bat, man, that's a groove, a socket, a hole. Technical term relating to a jeweler's work, man. A bezel for a gem. You know what I'm saying? Like, say, if this was an actual Rolex watch, man, you just put doggone diamonds in the bezel right now, man. That's what that means. He's saying, so when he tell you in the workmanship of your tabaret of your pipes, it's just a socket to put the jewels in. Now, I'm going to ask all this question, see where your memory at. The sardius, the topaz, the diamond, the beryl, the onyx as a covering. What that take you back to? Remember what he told you, man. Those that don't know the law are cursed. So you should exactly know what this says. And when we look at covering here, this is Masuka, Meme, Samak, Kaf, and Hay. This is a covering. There it is, damn it. Let me read y'all Exodus 28 and 17. Y'all bear with me, man. We're going to go over a lot. I'm not going to try to come with too many detours about other things and keep it focused on the information. It's going to be one of them where instances of like we used to do back in the days, man, and you get about 40 to 70 precepts. What's happening? I'm trying to take it slow because, you know, that's a lot of work to flood in at one time. You dig? So Exodus 28, I'm sorry. Exodus 28 and 15. And you shall make the breastplate of judgment with cunning work. After the work of the ephod, you shall make it of gold, blue, purple, scarlet, of fine twined linen. You shall make it. 80 it shall be double the span, but the length thereof a span, the breadth thereof. And you shall set in the settings of stones 4 rows of stones. First row, sardius, topaz, carbuncle. This shall be the first row. The second row shall be an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row, a ligure, an agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row, a beryl, and an onyx, and a jasper. And they shall be set in gold in their enclosings. Not set in gold in their enclosings. Let's see what that word enclosings is, man. I remember years ago, man, when we used to first talk about how this wasn't the devil, niggas used to be mad with us, man. It was like a decade ago. People thought we just be making stuff up. We're like, nah, cuz. We just going through the text and seeing what we see. When you got enclosings here, this is Milalah, Meme, Lamad, Aleph, and Hay. This is a setting of a jewel or a setting of a gem. Same thing that's being expressed in Ezekiel 28, just with a different word. So when you turn around and you look at the stones that's being mentioned, this is referencing the high priest's breastplate. This ain't referring to no beauty or no angel per se. Now, why is this important? Fundamentally, as it pertains to what we're discussing with the high priest and the Day of Atonement, what is his job? Again, I want you to listen clearly to what I'm asking you. As it pertains to the high priest and the Day of Atonement, what is his job? And let me reference this here. Can someone tell me, for extra credit, quote unquote, when did he put on this breastplate? When did he put it on? When did the high priest put this breastplate on? I'll read it out the law for those who may not know. So again, what is the relevance of the high priest as it pertains to the Day of Atonement? What is his number one role that he is facilitating? And when does he wear the breastplate of judgment? That is correct, sir. He wears it on the Day of Atonement. But what is the high priest's number one role? His duty that he's facilitating as it pertains to the Day of Atonement. I'm going to read you Exodus chapter 28. I'm going to read verse 29. And Aaron shall bear the names of the sons of Yasharal in the breastplate of judgment upon his heart when he go into the Kadash for a memorial before Yahuwah continually. And you shall put in the breastplate of judgment the Urim and the Thummim, they shall be upon Aaron's heart when he go in before Yahuwah. And Aaron shall bear the judgment of the sons of Yasharal upon his heart before Yahuwah continually. So when you look at this here, and we're going to read this in a moment, that breastplate symbolizes him carrying or the whole house of Yasharal. That's what it symbolizes. Let me read that again, man, so y'all can pick up what he's putting down. Verse 29 again, Exodus, if you would. And Aaron shall bear the names of the sons of Yasharal, the breastplate of judgment upon his heart, when he go into the Kadash for a memorial before Yahuwah continually. Well, y'all already know, according to the law, he only can go into the Kadash on atonement. He can't go in there willy-nilly. He can't go in there when he feel like it. Now, I'm going to look at this particular verse when they say to bear, because it should be Nasab, but we got to make sure. And it is Nasah, to lift up, to bear, to carry, to support. So he's going to lift up, he's going to carry the names of the sons of Yasharal every time he go in there as a memorial, that they might bear the judgment of the sons of Yasharal upon his heart. Let's see what word for judgment is used right there, man. Zechariah 3, what verse you talking about specifically, my G? I got to be paying attention so I don't catch this junk to stop the ad from playing. And of course, you have mishpat here, the judgment, the justice, the ordinance, or the execution of judgment. So when it pertains to the Day of Atonement, he's bearing the execution of the judgment. Verse 9, 10. Let me get back over here to Ezekiel. I'm trying to watch this thing so the ad don't play. So think about that for a moment. Think about that for a moment. Just let that rest in your spirit for a moment. This breastplate represents him carrying or covering the sons of Yasharal, because that's the high priest's number one role as it pertains to the Day of Atonement. He coming to cover the people. Remember, he's going into the inner sanctum to offer blood for himself and then for the people, because it's the Day of Atonement, the day of covering, the day of reconciliation, the day of purging. He coming to cover them. You understand? Let's come back to Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 13 one more time. Then we'll read Zechariah chapter 3. Probably pick it up at verse 4. Verse 9 is the point that Joseph is referring to. This is Ezekiel 28 and 13. You have been in Eden, the garden of Elohim, every precious stone your covering, the sardius, topaz, and diamond, the beryl, the onyx, the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, the carbuncle, and gold, the workmanship of your tabrets and of your pipes was prepared in you in the day that you was created. You understand? Now, Yahushua was slain from the foundation of the world, and he said in Revelation 3 and 14, he was the beginning of the creation of Elohim. And if he's a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek, that means he was a priest from the day that he was created to cover. Notice what he said, you, the anointed cherub that cover. I set you so, you was upon the Kadash mountain of Elohim, you walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. Pause. When we looked at the stones of fire, we looked at that Wednesday when we read Isaiah 6, and we read Ezekiel 1, and we read Ezekiel 10. Indeed, that the atonement process is divinely ordained, and it consoles the sufferer to know that. That's a fact that gives comfort to the individual. You understand? And also consider that the mercy seat is Kapareth, the seat of reconciliation, the seat of atonement. That's what his throne means. And we reference Proverbs 20 and 28 or 24, whichever one it was, and Isaiah 16, when he said that his throne is upholding with mercy. That's what the mercy seat represents. That's why it's called that, because it's a seat of reconciliation. So what individuals don't understand is once he went into that Kadash place and brought his own blood, his forth is presenting himself. You've been reconciled back to God. This is why Paul references 2 Corinthians 5. He's given unto us the ministry of the service of reconciliation, the service of kafar, the service of, he is an intercessor. That's exactly what the high priest is doing, is he's an intercessor. That's what Aaron's job was. He would intercede on our behalf. So Yahushua take that role as the intercessor on our behalf, and we can read that in Hebrews 7. We was going to eventually get around that. So when you look at it in that particular capacity, it gives you the aspect of understanding what it means. And also, again, like I said, and it's a good thing so we can discuss again the differences between the blood and the ruach. Because remember, he said the life of the flesh is in the blood. See, some people get stuck where he said he flesh and bone, but he's resurrected from the dead. The blood is not what has him alive. It's the Ruach HaKadosh that has him alive. That's why he say, I'm the resurrection and the life. Whosoever believes in me shall never taste death. Believe you this? Because it's the Ruach HaKadosh which is going to raise you from the dead, which y'all know, which is shown in Ezekiel 37. But I'm going to be 100% honest with you, and I've told y'all this for years. I genuinely believe that the mass majority of people who profess to believe in, the quote-unquote New Testament do not believe that Yahushua rose from the dead. They do not believe that we will rise from the dead. And since I said that, Job 19 and 25 on general principle. Because y'all don't even want to hear what this man said about he don't believe Yahushua ascended into heaven and things of this nature, man. These people who talk, who feel like they man, look here, man. You saying I was going to say it allows patience to maintain your faith in the midst of trials. And that is a fact. Let you who will be esteemed. That is a fact. Job 19:25. For I know that my Redeemer lives, and that he shall stand at the latter day upon their rats. And though after my skin worms destroy this body, yet in my flesh shall I see Elohim, whom I shall see for myself, and my eyes shall behold, and not another, though my reins be consumed within me. And that's understandable, Emma. Because that's what Paul was writing at. Some people say the resurrection unpassed. People be trying to overthrow the faith of people, man, and put fear in people's heart because these niggas unbelieving. And that's really why that junk be pissing me off. You know what I'm saying? Okay, bro, if you don't believe what that man said, man, that's your business, man. Keep that junk to yourself, man. That's why I asked that question. You know what I'm saying? Niggas, we resurrected from the dead with blood in us, cuz? You mean to tell me somebody who died in the 1st century AD resurrected with blood in them, cuz? That's what you telling me, man? Then you got to be the dumbest nigga in captivity. Man, Job 14, man. This is Job 14, man. I kick up at verse 1, man. It ain't gonna hurt nobody. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Man that is born of woman is few days and full of trouble. Listen, man, we ain't got a long time on the earth, and we got a lot of toil and sorrow and things we got to deal with while we here. We got a lot of, and we're going to get back to Ezekiel 28 because it's referring to his sacrifice. Amen, man. You know what I'm talking about? I still got Zechariah 3 on deck. Let me just get you what he mean when he say you full of trouble. You did. You full of rogez, Rosh, Gamal, and Zayin, agitation, excitement, trouble, turmoil, disquieting, trembling, trepidation. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, just like how Mom Deuce just said this here, man, you know, it's a lot of things in life can give you trepidation, and death is probably the biggest one. You understand? Because it's the one human experience that really nobody can't come and tell you about. Like straight up and down. You have some people, like I seen Bushwick Bill, he was declared dead, say he was on the autopsy slab about to get cut open. And then he said he urinated on the coroner's leg. He said, really, he ain't remember nothing. Say when he woke up, he just had to pee. And say the last thing he remembered was what happened to him before he went to sleep. Now, there's several people who I've heard give testimonies of that state. Like they said it was the best sleep they ever had. But they didn't remember, the last thing they remembered is right before they lost consciousness. And after that, it was nothing. Which, if this is a factual statement of what they're declaring, is literally what the words say. But a lot of individuals do not believe that there's a resurrection of the dead, though they may talk about it. You got people who will tell you ain't no mention of the resurrection of the dead in the Old Testament. That's unfortunate for you. Because what do you think this man mean when he say, I'm going to ransom you from the power of the grave? Which how you think he going to do that? What you think that's referring to? Nevertheless, he come forth, this is verse 2, Job 14. He come forth like a flower and is cut down. He flee as a shadow and continue not. And do you open your eyes upon such a one and bring me into judgment with you? Who can bring a clean out of an unclean? Not one. Pause. Now come over here to 1 Corinthians 15. He said, who can bring clean out of unclean? Let's take a look at it. Oh, don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Come to 1 Corinthians 15. Let's pick this up. Verse 35. This is 1 Corinthians 15 and 35. But some men will say, how are the dead raised up? And with what body do they come? Fool, that which so is not made alive except it die. And that which you sow not the body that shall be, but bear grain. It may chance of wheat and some other, but Elohim give it a body as it pleased him, to every seed his own body. All flesh, not the same flesh, but there's one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, another of birds. There are celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, but the esteem of the celestial is one, and the esteem of the terrestrial is another. There's esteem of the sun and the esteem of the moon, and another esteem of the stars, for one star differeth from another star in esteem. So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption, it is raised in incorruption. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Nobody but God. That's it. What you think Yahushua came to do? Don't you understand your flesh unclean? You can't stand before God in that state, boy. Listen to the next thing he say. It is sown in dishonor, it is raised in esteem, it is sown in weakness, it is raised in power. It is sown a natural body, it is raised a spiritual body. There's a natural body, there's a spiritual body. So it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The last Adam, a quickening ruach. Now this damn fool tried to tell me that this talking about what he said in John 6. No, man, this man is making a complete distinction, man. That the first Adam was a living soul. That means he wasn't made to live forever. He's flesh and blood. The second Adam, he finna sit, man, listen, man, I can't even remember some of that stuff. That junk made my brain hurt. Listen, howbeit, this is verse 46. Howbeit, that which is howbeit that was not first which is spiritual, but that which is natural, and afterwards that which is spiritual. The first man is of the earth, earthy. The second man is the Lord from heaven. This man tried to tell us, you know what that means? Because see, Jesus was born of a woman. Nigga, is you dumb? I don't even know what's worse, that a nigga said it or niggas agreed with him. So I don't know if this is a stupid question or not, but does being unclean in a natural sense? No, not with the masturbation and childbirth. That's more so aspect of the flesh is unclean. It's corrupt. You're gonna die. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it's referring to. You're gonna die. So it's a contrast between it was made in corruption, is raised in incorruption. So that's how you bring a clean thing out of the unclean. You know what I'm talking about? And there's no such thing as a stupid question. You know what I'm saying? Only thing some people would consider to be a stupid question is asking a question you already know the answer to. Now, it's not necessarily even spiritual uncleanliness per se. This is not uncleanliness as it pertains to the behavior of the individual. Indeed, it doesn't necessitate sin being done, because if you marry and you ejaculate, you know what I'm saying, your flesh is unclean. But this is more so the aspect that the flesh itself, because it is corruptible and you die, it's unclean. You know what I'm saying? Or the first man that is of the earth, earthy, in contrast to the second man or the Lord from heaven, which is heavenly, which would be that which is clean. So shalom, man. So you bring in that which is incorruptible out of that which is corruptible, which is the point. This is not an issue of focusing on behavior. You know what I'm saying? This is making a contrast. When a person dies and you round that dead body, you unclean. But if you were in the presence of God, you couldn't be unclean because there's no uncleanliness in it. You understand what I'm saying? But back to 1 Corinthians 15, right? The first man is of the earth, earthy. The second man is the Lord from heaven. As is the earthy, such are they also that are earthy. And as the heavenly, such are they also that are heavenly. We have borne the image of the earthy. We shall also borne the image of the heavenly. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the Malkuth of Elohim, neither do corruption inherit incorruption. So see, there's no way that this man resurrected from the dead with blood in him when blood is corruptible. That's why we read about what happens to your blood when you die. Period, point blank. You can't, to think that this man resurrected from the dead with blood in him is a level of spiritual retardation and stupidity that I didn't even think was possible for an individual to strive to achieve. You understand what I'm telling you? I'm telling you, man, I was grossly offended at the entirety of the responses to this junk. Pissed me off. These niggas is dumb as hell. And I ain't being funny, man. That junk genuinely agitated me, man. Like genuinely. That junk genuinely irritated my spirit. Like straight down, I ain't being funny. That junk genuinely agitated me. I know that's right, Mama. I can't say I blame you. I don't even know what irritated me more, the fact that they said it or the fact that they was ready to scoff and mock about it. But nevertheless, let's continue. This is Job 14:4. I'm just trying to make it plain of the understanding when he said, who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Elohim got to do it. Seeing his days are determined, the numbers of his months are with you. You have not appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Oh, they all out there. Now listen to what he said, right? Your days are determined. He already know how long you're going to be here for. And you're not going past him. You know what I'm talking about? You may not know how long you're going to be here for, but he know how long you're going to be here for. Turn from him that he may rest till he shall accomplish as a hireling his day. For there is hope of a tree, if it cut down, that it will sprout again, and that there will a tender branch thereof will not cease. Through the root thereof wax old in the earth, and the stock thereof die in the ground. Yet through the sin of water it will bud and bring forth blows like a plant. Now we could read something in Psalms, you know what I'm talking about? No, it's is this a, hold on, I'll get that done in just a second, my G. See if we get Isaiah 52 and 15, but give me about verse 10, and then hold Zechariah 3, and about verse 4. I'm gonna run it down. Blood just asked a question, man. We gonna man, they had some nuggets and fries. Them niggas that eat that. But it's fourth is like Psalm 73 and Hosea 6 when he talking about sprinkling that water on your man. You know, that's that ruach to cause that tree to bud. We could even take that back to what you read in Daniel when he say he cut that tree down and then the tree went to sprout back up. Or you got to take root down with the bare fruit upward, you know, resurrection of the dead conversation. He say, but amidst verse 10, but a man die and waste away. Yeah, a man give up the ruach, and where is he? As the waters fell from the sea and the flood decay and dry up, so man lay down and rise not till the heavens be no more. They shall not awake nor be raised out of their sleep. Now this man sitting here telling you exactly what it meant. Hey man, you going in the grave, you not getting up till the heavens roll back like a scroll. Simple as that. He said, oh, that you would hide me in the grave and you would keep me secret until your wrath be past, that you would appoint me a set time and remember me. If a man die, shall he live? All the days of my appointed time will I wait till my change come. Now, we just read, he said that incorruption can't inherit corruption, but he said you can't enter into this kingdom if you flesh and blood, because you're going to have to be changed. And this damn fool think you finna enter into an eternal kingdom in the unclean state that you in right now. Nigga don't even, well, you can't approach the God like this, boy. Job 14 and 14. We got to do better. Then he said, you shall call and I will answer you. He said he will come from Shamahim with a shout, and the dead in the Mashiach will rise first, the same way he called for Lazarus, and he answered him. You know what I'm talking about? But nevertheless, see, some niggas ain't going to hear that call, because that word ain't in them. You're going to be like, I don't know who that is calling me. What you calling me for? Come on, Isaiah 52 and 10, man. These niggas crazy, man. But people be overthrowing faith with people, man. People be know what they be doing.
So Yahuwah have made me bear his Kadash arm in the eyes of all the nations. And all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of our Allah.
And when they hung him up on that tree, they seen it. Go ahead, man. And this is still dealing with atonement, because we talking about the Day of Atonement. We talking about the mercy seat, the seat of reconciliation, because his throne is upholded in mercy. His throne is upholded in reconciliation and the covering of sins, because we still talking about that breastplate, because that's what that breastplate symbolized, is the high priest bearing the sins of the people that he wore them on his heart, that they were in his inward part. This is why this man was willing to sacrifice himself. So when you look at this anointed cherub that cover, and he talking about this breastplate he got, I'm talking about no damn devil, boy. And we supposed to know the law well enough to not let a goofy nigga tell us that. So you mean to tell me Satan walk around with a blessed plate with diamonds just like the high priest? Is you serious, man? And you entertaining that? Because another damn fool told you that. So you gonna listen to that and repeat it because the jackass said it. You didn't search the text, you didn't analyze it, you didn't cross-reference it against no law or nothing. You just rolled with it. I'm going to tell y'all this again. I've told y'all this for years, man. You give the devil too much credit, man. He's not that important of a character. He's somebody to be aware of, but he's not that important. He is a slanderer, he is a liar, and he is a tempter. And he's an adversary. That's it. He's not important. Man, if you stay G'd up, man, on top of your game, man, like you're supposed to, you can whoop him. Because what we know is said in the Epistle of James, man, what you supposed to do, Sid? Resist him steadfast in the what? And what he gonna do? He gonna get missing. Stop being a hoe. Be a man, stand 10 toes down on what it is that you own, look that sucker nigga dead in his face, and say, nigga, we can run it. Because I'm not fighting you with me, I'm fighting you with him. Because I'm resisting you steadfast in the faith or in the steadfast reliability and faithfulness of the word which he spoken. Sucker nigga, get out my face. I will knock you clean out. He gonna get missing because he don't want to head up fade. You got to understand this man don't want to head up fade. If he, listen man, he just like any other coward. He only gonna pick on people he think he can whoop. That's it. That's why we were talking about last week, when you find yourself weak, that's why you got to, hey man, let your brother carry your burden. That's why, hey, 2 is better than 1. Because if he falls, somebody can pick him up. And if he cold, because he's a buster. He want to catch you when you're down bad, when just like any bully, want to catch you when you're weak, because then I can do you dirty. He want to catch you down bad when you ain't at your best. So you can't be like, I'm finna be over here by myself and this, that, then the third. Man, you're going to get ran down on, boy. You're going to get ran, because that's what he's looking for. But if you stay strong or you stay with strong, he's not going to run up on you. Because he don't want to head up fade. Because he can't fight. He ain't got nothing to fight with. The only thing he can fight with is what you lust after. And if you mortify your lust and you hide in Yahushua HaMashiach, or you put on Yahushua HaMashiach so that you don't fulfill the lust of the flesh, that whole nigga's not coming around here. He really, and I'm going to say this here from now on, because this is what Rob Ho said, man. He was like, you know, when men call other men the P word, he said, you really mean this particular word right here, pusillanimous. You know what that means, Sibby?
I know.
No, it's actually, the reality is that's what people do actually mean when they say the vowel word. You know what I'm saying? But it means one who has lack of courage or determination or is timid. And that's who Satan is. He ain't got no courage. He ain't got no courage. Because if he had courage, he wouldn't move. He wouldn't wait to catch you weak. That's a fact. So there's a reason why Michael didn't bring a rail because he got legions, his gang, it's all he on. He don't waste time with people who ain't no threat. And that's a fact. He targets he targets those who are godly, hoping to catch you in a situation where you're not at your strongest.
That's why he tempted the Lord when he was hungry. That's
why he tempted the Lord after 40 days and 40 nights. And that's when you have to learn that when you're not strong in the flesh, you have to be strong in the spirit by relying on Yahuwah. You see what I'm saying? When you rely and you stay steadfast on the word, remember, we don't need no excuse. You know what it is. Isaiah 26:3. This is all you got to do. You want to stay G'd up, man, the way you can knock this whole nigga out, this all you got to do. Go ahead.
So you'll keep him in perfect shalom.
Whose mind?
Stayed on
because
you.
He
trust in you.
Trust in
Yahuwah forever.
For you trust in Yahuwah.
His everlasting strength.
That's all you got to do. If you're weak, and remember, he said, hey, man, that he that become weary, he said, I will renew his strength. Well, he going to make your strength Kadash or make it new when you keep your mind stayed on him. But when your mind ain't on him and your mind, you ain't retaining him in your knowledge and your mind drifting here and your mind drifting there, man, that man going to run up on you, boy. And he going to try to do you dirty. That man don't want no head up fade, man, with somebody who stays steadfast in that word, man. He don't want no head up fade. Because he can't whoop the word of Yahuwah and he know it. And if that's what you staying in, if that's in you and you in it, he can't do nothing to you. Read 1 John 5:17 on the house, man. I think Mother still got that plate up there. On top of what's there. But she took it down. Nah, on the toaster. She took it down.
So all unrighteousness is sin. There is a sin not unto death.
Listen what he say.
We know that whosoever is born of Elohim sin not.
Sin not, and
but he that is begotten of Elohim keep himself, and that wicked one touch him.
He that's born of Elohim do what?
Sin not.
No, keep himself.
Saying that the wicked one touch him not.
Wicked one don't touch him. You know what I'm talking about? Man, if you born of God, that man can't touch you, man. But you got to rely on that. You understand? It's not, and when I say rely on it, I'm not talking about the aspect of just talking about it. Like we were talking about the other day, I tell people, man, you just can't throw precepts at people, man. Man, when you out here moving and grooving, man, that thing got to be in you. I keep telling you, man, it's like that pimping, man. It's got to be in you and not on you. That means that you contemplate on it. You meditate on it. It dictates and it drives you. It's an internal component because you're faithful. Like I was like that song, the All Praise the Most High, and it's another brother I know who do the same thing. Like they replace godly with yali. I don't like when they do that because that's not what should be there. You know what I'm saying? And there's a reason why, because you're taking the word away from him. What's being communicated? Because godly there is going to be kased, which means that's somebody who's faithful. You know what I'm saying? Yahuwah means self-existing, self-sustaining. You're communicating something different. No, this is a godly, this is a faithful individual. And that needs to be heard, because you need to hear that. What does it mean to be faithful? It means to be steadfast and reliable in the principles and code of which you profess. That means you have to stew on that. See, man, most of y'all watch The Wire. You remember what Omar said, every man got to have a code. Well, us, the code is the word of Yahuwah. But not like how these niggas talking about Sabbath days and pork. Man, hey, man, it's mercy and grace, man. It's goodness and truth. It's self-control. It's loving kindness. It's slow to wrath. That's the code that we live by. It's forgiving individuals. It's having compassion on individuals. That's the code that we live by. You understand? We live by being upright, and we steadfast and faithful to what it is that we profess. See, it's a lot of suckers and busters in the game, man. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, right, you ain't here, right? Just like with Jason Black, we're talking about in regards to how people doing Klay Thompson. This aspect, because they do this to people in the word, this is the reality of the situation. When people despise you, they just gonna lie. And when they lie about you, it's not hard to do it, because most people are not gonna question the lie. They're not gonna question it. And you have to know that. This is why he said, hey, man, when people separate themselves from you, and he said, rejoice. You have to understand and know that they are not going to question the lie. When people don't like you, or you not who they, you know what I'm saying, you don't do what they want, they just gonna lie. Oh, he do this and he do that. Well, remember, man, that's what he told you that this nigga do. But what else did he tell you? He said, hey, man, cast out the scorner and the strife will cease. So guess what you got to do? You got to get rid of the marker, whether that's putting them out or getting away from them and not entertaining them. See, now I can tell you in this instance with Klay Thompson, this is a piece of game for you to learn. See, this is what you learn by not messing with a victimized scallywag. Because see, when you mess with a scallywag, when you separate from her, you know what she's going to have to do? She's going to have to destroy your reputation to maintain her victim status. That's what you should. These are certain elements, certain people you can't join to in life, man, because their whole objective is to try to destroy you. Now, you got men who move that way, but it's a lot of ladies who move that way. When you don't do what they want you to do, they're going to seek to try to destroy you. They're going to try to destroy your reputation. They're going to try to destroy people from fooling with you. It just comes with the game. And I say this here because ladies probably experience this more than anything, dealing with other women. Now, men just do this here, but you know what I'm saying? But they do it differently than women do it. But I know women have experiences dealing with other women, because when they don't fall out with a woman, they go about to destroy her reputation, so other people won't fool with her. So that person can be the villain and they can maintain being the victim. I'm telling you, this is how Satan operates. When he operates in people who work for him, who don't even know they work for him, that's how they operate. They're going to play the victim role and make you out to be the villain. And you got to know that. You know what I'm talking about? And you got to move accordingly. You know what I'm saying? I got some words I would say, but I ain't going to say them. That's what Duck now talking about. All right, man, you the cussing pastor. I said, I don't use conventional profanity. I just use words that might make you uncomfortable to give a shock to your nervous system. You know what I'm talking about? Because your nervous system needs to be shocked. Because guess what? It is a lot of hoes out here. But when I say hoes, I'm not talking about an individual who is a prostitute or necessarily a woman. I'm talking about a timid, lack of confrontation coward and an unfaithful, despicable human being. You know what I'm talking about? Now, obviously, we just told you what pusillanimous means, so you already know what that means. That's a coward. This is an individual who lacks courage. He's timid. It's a lot of them out here, man. And you can always tell an individual who has that type of stuff in them because they resort to insults when they're directly confronted. Because this is the only thing that they're going to be able to resort to. And you have to know that. You know what I'm saying? Listen, The book tell you, man, you got to be a good soldier for Yahushua HaMashiach, man. You got to be able to endure hardness. Do me a favor, Simon. Just grab that for me, man. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3. Y'all bear with me, man. It's a lot of things scrambling in my brain. I got time. Oh, also programming note, man. Y'all willing, man. We're going to start at 1 o'clock on tomorrow, man. And then y'all willing, like I mentioned y'all before, man, that the pastor going to have us allow us to use the building. You know, it's going to cost us $500 a month. And when we in that building, we won't be going at 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? 1 o'clock at the latest. You know what I'm talking about? You maybe noon, 12:30, but 1 o'clock at the latest, man. Dang, nigga done got shot in the chest. Indeed, cowards lack complete accountability or humility. They don't have, and that's only because they can't confront whatever it is. So they would rather run. They would rather hide. They would rather duck. See, being a coward doesn't, listen, there are men who will fight to the death. You know what I'm talking about? But they still cowards, though. Remember, being a coward is not necessarily you scared to fight. You know what I'm talking about? Because he might fight a man. He might be with all that smoke. You know what I'm talking about? But when it comes to the certain things in the inner recesses of his soul, when it comes to certain situations and circumstances in life, he gonna run. Can't confront it, can't deal with it. I was just telling Dita the other day, man, I know men who are stone cold killers and gangsters, weak for women. Women walk all over, run all over. Men, guys draw fear from men in the street. You know what I'm saying? It's women out here, it's like, oh, I don't see him. That boy, that's sucker. You wouldn't think that, but when it comes to her, he's scared of confrontation. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to confront her. Or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So this is why we always talk about the aspects of when we got things inwardly that we dealing with. That's why I discuss them type of things, so you can confront them. Can't have no fear, because you ain't confront these things by yourself. You're taking Yahushua with you. So what you scared of? You ain't going out there dolo. You taking the Lord with you. What you scared of? You got somebody that if you can't fight it, he can help you fight it. But you got to be willing to face it, though. You got to be able to look that dead in the eyes, no matter how uncomfortable that situation or circumstance, feeling, thought, whatever the case may be. And you got to look it in the face and say, you have no power over me, because, you know, the power that is over me is he that sit in Shamaim on the throne with the 2 covering cherubs. You know what I'm talking about? You don't put no fear in my heart. Because fear is what holds us back from confronting things, because we don't want to feel, think, or deal with whatever may come out of what you have to confront. But I tell you this here, man, like Hebrews 12 say, man, let's lay aside the sin and the weight that easily beset us, so you'll run the race with patience. You'll walk lighter. You'll sleep better. You know what I'm talking about? Your anxiety will dissipate if you just face it. Once you face it, you know what you'll stop doing? Stop carrying it. I ain't got to carry this no more. I don't even know what I was carrying all this stuff on this long. Listen, there was a lady got mad, right? I was being serious, but I was trolling at the same time. Dude was talking about he didn't understand how men let their wives put them on the couch. And I was like, man, there's absolutely no way in this life. Because you upset that I'm going to go sleep on the couch because you told me to go sleep on the couch. I'm not going to sleep. No goddamn way. Now, we can lay here and you can be mad, or we can be mad together, or you can go sleep on the couch, or you can go sleep in the other room. I'm going to sleep in the bed, though. You know what I'm talking about? This lady say, oh, I know you're not married. You dress like a toddler. I say, look here, ho. Try again. You know what I'm saying? Then she went on Sunday. I said, let me tell you something, man. My mama loved me, cuz. Then she went to Sunday. I say, man, listen, man. I say, my mama was a real one. My daddy was a real one. My granddaddy was a real one. My auntie was a real one. I said, my people love me, man. So we don't have to tolerate disrespect and things of this nature from you or somebody else's child. She had to say, she's my, obviously your mother breastfed you too long. Now I said, she breastfed you long enough. Don't get mad at me because your mama ain't love you, ho. Now, why I mentioned that there, man, when you with somebody, you're going to bump heads from time to time. You know what I'm saying? But if you love each other, the love going to be greater than the disagreements or whatever the case may be. A lot of people with people you don't love. So that's why that be a problem. You know what I'm saying? But people, and this is what you also seen. Well, you just heard what he said as pertains to Klay Thompson. Is fourth is why some women are upset. A lot of people don't like a man who will not allow you to do him any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And knows that you're not going to do him any kind of way. People don't like that because they feel like you just supposed to take it. You just supposed to deal with you lying to me. You got to be lying to me. You know what I'm saying? You smoking dope if you think I'm going for that. The reason being because if you carry yourself with that modicum of respect, you're not going to go out about and intentionally disrespect people that you fool with, or even people you don't fool with. So that's why when it comes to certain stuff like that, that's a no. I was telling my dog the other day, man, you know what I'm saying? Big Cuz taught me that first quarter. You know what he told me, man, I'm about 14 years old, man. He said, man, you can't let a woman slide with nothing, boy. You got to check that. He wasn't talking about being disrespectful or rude. He was just letting me know, you got to let it be know, oh, no, we can't do that. Oh, you can't talk to, because he said if you let it slide, you'll be disrespected for the rest of your day. And a lot of dudes let stuff slide. You know what I'm saying? Now I mention that because when you look at Yahuwah and how people interact with him, as he said, because he's merciful and this, that, and the third, well, they think he letting stuff slide. That's why he got to come. I got to check you because you think I'm playing. You know what I'm saying? No, for real, you lying to me. Listen, a lot of people get upset when I tell them that. My mama love me. My mama ain't never emasculate me, disrespect me, cuss me out, never called me out my name, never did none of that. Never. You know what I'm talking about? And I told her, and I said, look here, ho. And I say, I was blessed to be able to say these things while my mama was alive to hear them. And I can pull the video so you can see it. You know what I'm talking about? Well, she was sitting right there so she could hear. I will never in my day stand in front of nobody and tell that bold-faced lie and say my mama ain't love me. To make you feel better because your mama ain't love you. Yeah, you lying to me. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna disrespect my mama like that. My mama ain't never do me dirty in no type of fashion in that capacity for me to say, oh yeah, man, my mama ain't love me. Again, if your mama didn't love you, my heart go out to you because that's a pain that I can't even empathize with you on. I can sympathize with you. I can't empathize with you. That wasn't my life. And I hate it for you. You know what I'm talking about? And I ain't saying that to be funny, facetious, or nothing. That's a terrible thing, man. The woman who cared you, if she don't love you, that's messed up. You know what I'm talking about? But it also says a lot about her, though. It says a lot about her. You know what I'm saying? Because every woman ain't meant to have no churn. She just got functional reproductive organs. That don't mean she's supposed to have no churn. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless. What we at, say, Bo?
2 Timothy 2:3.
Run it.
You therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua Mashiach.
You got to be able to do that, man. Tell them what soldier means. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad. I say, man, my granddaddy was a soldier. And he definitely raised me with military preciseness and discipline as a youth when I was at his house in the summertime. Listen, you know it had to be serious because my granddaddy ain't played. And I used to get suspended from school on purpose. Because my mom was like, boy, if you get suspended, you got to go to your granddaddy's house. That's a bet. You know what I'm talking about? That ain't no punishment. Yeah, man, the people thought there was something wrong with nothing wrong with me, man. They be like, he in here flipping desks, man. That's, hey, I'm finna make sure you give me 3-4 days. Well, I damn near failed the 4th grade doing that, man. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. Listen, man. That was my dude, man. I love that man. You understand me? But when the 4th, because it come up that's how he raised it, man. You know what I'm saying? And Mom Dukes kind of reinforced that. And my daddy was a cop. You know what I'm saying? So that aspect of you look at life different because they look at life different based on, you know what I'm saying? So then you get in the word and you see it's the same structured regimen of discipline. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same thing. So it's like, okay, that's a bet. So when you get into that, man, and you see this here, man, you got to be a soldier because soldiers follow structured regimens, man. They follow orders. That's why I was just telling Brother Marvin there yesterday, man. Like when it come to what I was referencing y'all Wednesday, my personal thoughts and opinions don't matter as it pertains to the execution of ministry. We're going to do this exactly according to the pattern in the mount. That means exactly how he say to do it, that's how we're going to do it. That means if you mention something to me, I'm not telling you, oh, no, we can't do it like that because I think your idea is bad. No, we got to line this up with the word. I don't care how great of an idea you think it is. Because you know who got the answer for that? I do. And we're not going out like Saul, man. We're not going out like Aaron, man. Trying to appeal to the people and you lose your life behind it. Yeah, you definitely lying to me. You know what I'm saying? No, absolutely not. And you know what it says to set the framework on? In the day of my demise, that when it's your turn to do things, that you do it just like that. Not based on what you think is right, what you feel is good, but what that man say to do and do it how he said to do it. Not how you want to do it, not how you think you should do it, not how you feel you should do it. Exactly how he said to do it. This is not your organization. This is not your house. These not your people. None of this stuff belong to you. It's his. So when he say do it like that, then nigga do it like that. And if a nigga get upset, nigga go get what you, go holler at him then. We ain't finna do stuff to appease you and your thought process, nigga. Is you crazy? Is you cool? You can't come to God and say, oh, no, we gonna run it like this here. You got to be an idiot. That's not how that works. And that be the problem. Because all it takes is one time, Civic. You bend, it's over. Once you bend the word for it, it's over. You'll never be able to get it back straight. Somebody gonna have to die to get it back straight. Straight up now. That's how serious it is, man. You can't do that, man. You see that in the text every time. People died, and then somebody came up later and said, oh, boy, them boys was out of pocket. A Josiah come up, a Hezekiah come up, and they got to come straighten it out after you people died. Now, we ain't going out like that, man. At least not while I'm breathing. You know what I'm talking about? Now, y'all can do whatever you want to do once I'm dead. They ain't none of my business. You know what I'm talking about? But not while I'm breathing. Because I'm going to tell you like this here. Before I do that, I'll quit and go somewhere else. I promise you that. I'll quit and go somewhere else. You can do whatever you want to do, but I'm not going to be a part of it. You know what I'm talking about? Because you got to realize that, boy. Well, you're going to answer for that. You're going to answer for that. Not answer the man either. You got to answer to him. When listen, man, he said, if a man can't rule his own house, how he going to rule the house of God? I mean, you got to rule his house how he said to rule it. That's why I told you today, man, it's not having rule over you as an individual outside the assembly. It's ruling his assembly according to the standard that he set. And people don't like that because they want to do it. Well, we should do it like that. Hey, man, you can do whatever you want to do, but you can't do it here. Remember that, man? He said you got to give account. But everybody want to be somebody preacher man, though. My God, today. Come on, Zibo. Back to Isaiah 52 and 10.
Yeah, that word for soldier, stratiotes, a common soldier, or metaphorically, a champion of the cause of Hamashiach.
Got to be. If you're a champion of the Lord, man, you champion his cause, you got to follow orders, man. You know what I'm saying? Got to follow orders. That'd be hard for people to do is follow orders because you want to tweak the orders. I think it'd be better if I do it like this. Ain't nobody asked you if it would be better. Nobody asked you that. What did he say to do? Do that. How many times we can read in this text people did stuff how they thought versus what he said to do? They died. They died. Listen, it's real in the field, baby. Come on with it. I keep forgetting to watch this thing so I can hit. Them ads ain't been playing in because I've been definitely hitting that thing repeatedly to the left.
I ain't noticing.
No, because it's put it down here when it get under a minute versus me hitting that button up the top. That joint say you could actually insert ads. That's wild. Go ahead.
Back in Isaiah 52.
And 10.
So Yahuwah hath made me bear his Kadash arm in the eyes of all the nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of our Elohim.
Come on.
Depart you, go you out from thence.
Bet.
Touch no unclean thing, go you out of the midst of her. Clean that bear the vessels of Yahuwah.
You got to be clean if you're going to bear the vessels. Come on.
For you shall not go out with haste, nor go by flight.
For the Elohim,
For who will go before you, and Elohim and Yasharon will be your reward.
behold.
My servant shall deal prudently. He shall be exalted and extolled and be very high.
That's Yahushua right there. As many as were astonished.
At you, his visage was so marred more than any man, and his form more than the sons of men.
So shall he sprinkle.
Many nations
So the king shall what?
shut their mouths at him, for that which had not been told them shall they see. That which they had not heard shall they consider.
Now tell them what sprinkle mean, man. So listen, right? He said he'll shut their mouths, and that which had not been told they'll see, which is, amen, the things that are written in the law of Moses and in the Psalms and the prophets concerning me, and that which they have not heard, then they'll consider. Now he's talking about the gospel being moved. Go ahead.
That is the zah, to spurt, spatter, to sprinkle. To sprinkle upon.
You gonna let me know what I'm saying? Sprinkle me, man. You're gonna sprinkle a little game on him. Now this word gonna be in your face. Well, so when he say he shall sprinkle many nations, that mean everybody gonna get the gospel, cuz. Remember he say go out into the nations and teach them this here? What you think he's sprinkling on them if he talking about they gonna see that which they that which had not been told to them they'll see, and that which they had not heard they shall consider. Them people had never been told nothing, and they ain't never seen nothing. They don't want to hear that statement. Come on, Zechariah 3. Well, it's a small contingent of people who don't want to hear that. We hold in Ezekiel 28, pardon me. Zechariah 3 and 4, and Leviticus 16.
And he answered and spake unto those that said before him, saying,
What they said?
Take away the filthy garments from him. And unto him he said, Behold, I have caused your iniquity to pass from you, and I will clothe you with a change of raiment. And I said,
okay, you could drop down to verse 80, man. Matter of fact, you can make it 6. Zechariah 3 and 6.
And the Malachim of Yahuwah protested unto Yahushua, saying, Thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, if you will walk in my ways, if you will keep my charge, then you shall also judge my house. You shall also keep my courts. And I'll give you places to walk among those that stand by.
Here now.
O Yahushua the high priest, you, your fellows that sit before
For
you,
they
are men wondered at.
Listen, you know that this Yahushua and his fellows, this is Yahushua HaMashiach and the apostles, and they're men who are wondered at. Go ahead.
For behold, I'll bring forth my servant.
And behold, the stone
that I have laid before Yahushua
upon one stone
shall be 7 eyes. Behold, I will engrave the graving thereof.
and saith Yahuwah of hosts.
And I will remove the iniquity of that land in one day.
Now that engraving with the stone, Brother Joseph Main, is referring to the actual stone, you dig, and not the gemstones. You know what I'm saying? You know, chief cornerstone or the A-Ben. Notice say they are engraved, the engraving, which will remove the iniquity in that day, because I came to finish the transgressions, to make an end of sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity. I think Bro mentioned the Zechariah 13 earlier when he mentioned 13 and 1, when he mentioned I'm going to open a fountain of for uncleanliness and for sin. You know what I'm talking about? But come on back to Ezekiel 28. Because the process of going through what you call it, Leviticus 16 is going to be, I'm not going to say it's going to be arduous, because that would mean it would be difficult. But it's definitely going to be extended. So listen, right? I want you to read me verse 13 one more time. Ezekiel 28 and 13. We hold in Leviticus 16. I don't believe we've gotten enough.
You have been in Eden, the garden of Elohim. Every precious stone was your covering. The sardius, the topaz, the
Now remember, we looked at that, and this is relating to what? The breastplate of judgment, or the high priest breastplate. And again, he only could wear this on the Day of Atonement. I know a lot of people like to, make chains of it. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. Wear it on t-shirts. That's fine. That's your business. But the reality of the execution of the law, when they was in the land with a temple built, that man didn't walk around with that on. Truth be told, he couldn't even take it out of the temple. You understand? He could only, and remember what it said, he put this on to bear the names of the children of Israel on his heart. That's what it's for. So when you see this being described, you think Satan walking around with a breastplate to bear the names of the children of Israel on his heart, man? That don't even make sense. Now, I'm only focusing on this again for the aspect of you have, John 7 and 50 say, they that don't know the law are cursed. So again, when you read certain things, you should know the law well enough to pick up, oh, this is what this is talking about. You understand what I'm saying? And then we won't make this determination. Someone, no, that is the devil. Well, show me the devil with a breastplate of righteousness on, man. That's just like the hybrid. Show me that. Where you see that at? And it ain't got to be nothing word for word. Just show me something that's where it's insinuated. You know what I'm talking about? Just insinuate it for me. Can you do that? Read me Exodus 31:1. Listen. Because again, I said, because man, we be giving stuff to the devil, taking it away from God. It seems like we be more worried about this buster than God. Why you more worried about your enemy than your ally? That's crazy. Come on, man.
Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, see,
That's right, my G.
by name, Bezaleel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, the tribe of Yehuda. I have filled him with the Ruach of Elohim and wisdom and in understanding and in knowledge and in all manner of workmanship to devise cunning works.
The work in what?
In gold.
And what else?
Silver.
And
brass.
Cutting of
stone.
The set.
And them and carving of timber.
To work in manner of all what?
Workmanship. And now behold, I have given with him Aholiab,
the son of who?
Ahisamach.
What tribe he from?
Dan.
And in the heart
of all that are wise, hearted I have put wisdom, that they may make all that I've commanded you.
Listen.
The tabernacle of the congregation, the ark of the testimony, and the mercy seat that is thereupon.
And all the furniture
of the tabernacle.
And the table.
And its furniture.
And the pure.
The candlestick.
And with all this what?
Furniture.
The altar of.
Incense,
the altar of.
Offering,
with his what?
Furniture,
and the laver.
And his foot.
And the cloth.
Of service.
And the what else?
God's garments for Aaron the priest.
And the what?
Garments of his sons to minister in the priest office.
So we know why we read that there, man? You think an Israelite making garments like that for the devil, boy? When he done gave an instruction from heaven, because these instructions for these garments is an instruction that Moses is getting from Yahuwah. So you see this same garment being referenced in Ezekiel, and you think that was given for the devil to put on, man? Come on, man. Verse 14. Oh, yes, sir. You already know it. You already on the praise Yahuwah. He mentioned that he heard that labor in that. Hey, man, you know that. Hey, that's that laver for washing of regeneration. Sprinkling of that water, make it clean, man. That's a whole nother conversation. Listen, I told a couple of brothers, man, told my old lady, right? Because, you know, especially at this juncture, y'all willing with us continually being in a central location versus being house to house as we've been, well, really since the pandemic. Because before we wasn't going house to house before the pandemic. It's going to bring more people in, and with more people in, we're going to have to circle back to the basics. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I do be trying to make sure to stir up y'all pure minds by way of remembrance and sprinkle other things in there, because, you know, we've been at this praise be to Yahuwah for a long time. And like I've said a few times, I can't tell y'all to go back and watch no video, man. There's literally videos on here that are 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? So that's not even feasible. You know what I'm saying? Come on, blood. Verse 14 of Ezekiel 28.
You are the anointed cherub that covered, and I've set you so.
And you was where?
Upon the Kadash mountain of Elohim.
And you walked in what?
Up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. You was perfect in your ways from the day that you was created. So iniquity was found in you. Now,
see, people say, see, that was Satan. Iniquity was found in it. But it said the Lamb was slain what?
The foundation of the world.
Now, there's no way in the world you're going to sit back and talk about that this man is an anointed cherub. Yahushua was anointed to cover. And guess what? You should peep this from what we read in verses 7, 8, 9, and 10, when it talked about this man being killed, dying the death of the uncircumcision and being brought down to the pit, because him being a man maketh himself God, but you ain't no man. And you can literally read what them people said, hey man, this man being a man maketh himself God. We want to kill him. This is why he told you need to search the scriptures, man, because in them you think you have eternal life, boy, and they talking about me. And we want to take his esteem and give it to the devil. Come on, man. And guess what? I ain't finna do that. And I don't care who don't like it. And I can tell you like this here, man. If the Lord allow, I will literally find a way to put StreamYard on this stream. And you can come holler at me and you can smell my cologne and you can talk to me face to face about it. You know what I'm talking about? That's Isaiah 14 or Ezekiel 28. And that ain't on no gangster stuff. That's just, hey, you ain't got to be typing in no comments, man. You ain't got to be none of that. If you want to understand and have a live conversation about what it is that we stand on, we could go line for line, verse for verse. We can lay it out on the table, and you can make your determination yourself when you go search the scriptures yourself. Straight like that for anybody at any time. We don't say these things to be provocative, but this, that, there, and the third. Man, we've been teaching this the whole time we've been here. And we've been here for almost 14 years. We didn't just pop up out the blue and say, no, this means that. We've always said that because that's where the testimony take us. For those who are new, what we deal with is most people don't be here when we start, like initially start. We start every service with John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. And then he said, if you would have believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote me. But if you don't believe his writings, how are you going to believe my words? You're not. So what did that mean? That means that fundamentally this man has expressed that the entirety from Genesis 1:1 to Malachi chapter 4, verse 6 is bearing witness of him. So therefore, we search the scriptures consistently and constantly to be able to see his testimony, to make it plain so individuals may hear and believe and receive the gift of the Ruach HaKodesh unto everlasting life, to the praise of your Abba and Shamayim through the preaching of his only begotten son, Yahushua HaMashiach. We're not changing that. We're not bending that. We're not comporting that. We're not preaching what you want us to preach. We're not talking about what you want us to talk about. If that's what he gave you to preach, then you go preach it. If that's what he gave you to teach, then you go teach it. But I'm going to tell you what he gave us, the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach, and we're going to preach it till I can't breathe no more and my heart don't beat. And I'm not compromising, changing, bending for now man and woman on this earth. Straight like that. And that's for anybody who don't like it, anybody who want to make a comment, anybody who got something to say. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of niggas say stuff from a safe place. Whether you say it in your heart, say it out loud, say it to a sucker nigga, type it in the comment. Whole nigga, we not changing nothing. Ever. Under no circumstance. Because as Paul put it, man, do we seek to please men or do we please Elohim? Well, if we please men, we wouldn't be the servants of a Mashiach. So we're going to please God. He said we ought to fear God rather than man. Because, boy, I had my mama, boy. If I let somebody dictate to me what I'm going to preach, you lying to me 3 times over and 4 times as quick. Yeah, you ought to be out your rabbit mind. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't just saying that for me. That better be the thought process for every man in here. Man, you're supposed to build your house on the rock. And that's what he told you to do, Civic. And when the winds come and the rain come through and it pound on your house, it won't fall because it's built on a rock, man. You understand me? We built on the rock, man. He say, man, Yahuwah is a rock. And he changed not. Saying yesterday and forever, man. So if you built on that, how you gonna fall? Because a sucker nigga said something? Man, we like David, man. If they run in their mouth, if Yahuwah gave them room to talk, let them talk. Might turn into a blessing as it is this day. Ain't that what he told them? We don't give a damn about none of that, nigga. That's what's wrong with you niggas. Y'all be wanting to say something to everybody who say something. Man, screw you and eat donuts, nigga. Care nothing about what you talking about. Why am I saying this here, man? Because your focus got to be on winning souls and making sure this man's name is esteemed. Not worrying about what somebody got to say. Niggas on the sidelines always got something to say. Whether they got flow seats or sitting in the nosebleed. They always got something to say. People who ain't in the game always gonna talk. But guess what you supposed to be doing? Steady building on that rock. On that chief cornerstone. A sure foundation. You understand me? And everybody who believe in him shall not be ashamed. And if you don't believe that, I don't know what you're doing it for. If you don't believe the man steadfast in what he's saying and what he promised, what you doing it for? Because your family doing it? Because your friends doing it? Because you think it's a fad? You's a goofy. What's wrong with you, man? Man, you got to be, man, you got, that man told you, hey, man, you better sit down and count the cost whether you got sufficient to pay. That man counted the cost and said, I'm going to hang on this tree, man. Because Because I know he won't suffer his Kadash one to see corruption, so I'm gone. I'm gone. So when you heard that high calling of Yahushua HaMashiach, you better make sure you sat down and count that call. That boy, I'm gone, boy, and it's whatever. Whatever I encounter, whatever I endure, whatever I got to face, it don't make no difference. The man said, if you believe that I'm the resurrection and the life, you'll never taste death. So we seek to taste the quenching of, of that living water, man. Yeah, that's what we on. You know what I'm saying? Let you who will be esteemed, man. I told you, man, look at man. I told you why back crank it up at night, man. I don't care nothing about moving their word right now. All the other stuff, I let y'all deal with that. I don't care about nothing else but that. I don't care. Yeah, man. You can deal with it. I don't deal with that. But yeah, some of y'all, some of you niggas be running your mouth. And you know what I'm saying? You got the right one, because I can be infinitely disrespectful. I seek to remain professional. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless. Come on, Sibo. Verse 16.
By the multitude of your merchandise, they have filled the midst of you with violence.
Notice he said by the multitude of your what?
Of your merchandise.
Tell them what that merchandise word is, man.
Y'all reckon a lot of merchandise, traffic, or trade.
What you think he was trading in? And this is where you should remember what Proverbs say. He said to buy the what, Civic?
Truth.
And sell it what?
Nah.
And also what?
Wisdom.
And what else?
Understanding.
And understanding. And instruction. Read it for him, 23, because Civic messed it up. He did. I was going to let him slide, but I couldn't do it. This is Proverbs 23 and 23. Buy
the truth and sell it not. Also wisdom and instruction and understanding.
Because he put understanding first before instruction. No, I'm just messing with you. They needed to see where it was at on the paper. You know what I'm saying? When you look at buy, it's acquire and possess. So that's the multitude of his merchandise that they filled in the midst of you with violence. They killed this man because of his merchandise. They killed him because of his amath, which is his faithfulness. They killed him because of his kokma, because of his skill in war. They killed him because of his benay, his insight, other word. And they killed him because of the musar, because he came with the instruction of the chastisement. You understand? Man, Satan ain't got no merchandise, nigga. What violence is in him? He got violence because he lying? Come on, man. Read me verse 16 again.
He said, by the multitude of your merchandise, they have filled the midst of you with violence, and you have sinned.
Therefore,
I will cast you as profane out of the mountain of Elohim.
And I will do what?
Destroy you.
Oh, what?
Covering cherub.
Now, this is why this is important with the cherub, you dig? The covering cherub is over the throne, blood. They cover the throne. In the stones of the fire. Remember when we read that in Ezekiel 10, in Ezekiel 1, and Isaiah 6? There were stones of fire under the throne. You know that was a sapphire stone? Now, I mention that because I'm not going to reread this tonight. You can look at Wednesdays and see that. Now, I can tell you to go back and look at one from 2 days ago. You know what I'm talking about? But if you don't want to go look at 2 days ago, Ezekiel 10, Ezekiel 1, Isaiah 6, you can see them stones of fire. He said, I cast you out the mountain of Elohim. Well, we can literally read where he said, oh, you beauty of Yasharal in Lamentations, I cast you out of heaven. Well, what did he cast him out for? To make reconciliation for iniquity and to finish the transgression. Because who sinned? Adam sinned. And he put Adam out. We don't even think about that. My God, today. Come on, man. Verse 17, because he said your heart was what?
Lifted up because of your beauty.
You have corrupted
your wisdom by reason of your brightness.
I will cast you
to the ground, lay you before kings that they may behold you.
And guess what? Did he not cast his son to the ground? He say truth lie in the street. You understand me? We don't even sit back and pay attention that he literally say he chastised his own son. And you'll see this here and think he really did do this to his son. Some of y'all don't know this. Because a lot of people don't harp on it. We do. In Numbers 14, what he said he wanted to do to the children of Israel, what he told Moses? He wanted to kill him as one man. So instead of killing the children of Yasharal as one man for their iniquity He took that wrath out on one man. This is why he's got the breastplate of righteousness to bear the children of Israel on his heart, man. You understand me? This is why he got it. This is what the Day of Atonement is about, because he's covering and he's bearing and he's carrying the sins of the people. And you bring it straight to the mercy seat or the seat of reconciliation. This is why I've always told y'all, if you got into somebody, I could tell you what I would do. And you know why I tell you what I would do? Because I'm not going to just act like I'm not a human being. Because listen, man, I just told nigga did some junk. I'd be like, who? I left that nigga on the side of the road. You know what I'm saying? Just for them to learn a lesson. But that's just, you know what I'm saying? But the reality is, I know that God say, in all things reconcile. You know why I tell you this here? Because I want you to know that you can still be a human being. Meaning you can have these thoughts to where, oh man, you know what, man, bump you. But then you know what? God say to do this. Because he reconciled with me when he should have said, man, bump you. You know what I'm talking about? He was merciful to me when he could have said, die, starve, fade away. And then what I would take, we got to leave with reconciliation, because fundamentally, that's who your God is. He is literally the God of reconciliation. Literally. His throne literally means that. You understand what I'm telling you? I just want that to sink into your brain. You're going to hear that a lot as we talk about this mercy seat, man. His throne literally means the seat of reconciliation. That's literally what it means. Let me give you the English definition of reconciliation. We know the Hebrew definition for reconciliation. Well, do we? Either way it goes. I'll pull it up right. Reconciliation is the restoration of friendly relations. The process of making two seemingly inconsistent ideas / facts consistent or aligning financial record. It implies resolving conflicts, harmonizing differences, or accepting an undesirable situation. Interpersonal / political, reestablishing harmony after a conflict. Theological, restoring broken relations. I'm not reading that part. It is honest reflection, acknowledging one's role in a disagreement, establishing an authentic and open conversation, and accountability, moving beyond apologies to ensure issues do not recur. Synonyms can be harmonizing, resolution, reunification, atonement, expiation, and rapprochement. Rapprochement, excuse me, not reproachment. See if you get me 2 Corinthians 5 and 14. Really 5 and 17.
Therefore, if any man be in Hamashiach, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. And all things are of Elohim, who have reconciled us to himself by Yahushua.
He did what?
Reconciled us to himself by Yahushua Mashiach, and given to us the ministry of reconciliation.
Giving us the ministry of what?
Reconciliation.
Tell them what reconciliation meant in the Greek before we read it in Hebrew.
That is katalage. That is an exchange of the business of money changers or adjustment of a difference, reconciliation, restoration to favor.
Restoration to favor. 2 Chronicles 29 and 24 to give them the Hebrew definition of reconciliation. I know we just read it not too long ago. We can read it again.
And the priests killed them, and they made reconciliation with their blood upon the altar to make an atonement for all Yasharal.
It should be kafar, but give them the word for reconciliation.
This one is kata.
Kata, go ahead.
This is to sin, to miss the way, to go wrong, incur guilt, forfeit, to purify from uncleanness. Notice
kata is the word for sin, but the secondary definition is to purify from uncleanliness. So when you look at reconciliation and to go back to what we read in Job 14, who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? No, not one. And you look at it how you say one was made in corruption and the other in incorruption. You can see that the blood of his reconciliation is to purify you from uncleanliness. Say from a godly stance, how do you know who to reconcile with and who not to? I mean, reconciliation is just simply, forgiveness or compassion. Some instances you can't reconcile with everybody. How we know that? Because Yahuwah don't reconcile with everybody. You say you might like the House, President Trump. I would not. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, when you did determine that some people are evil, you know what I'm saying? You just leave them alone. You know what I'm talking about? Now, of course, when I reference reconciliation, it's always going with people who in the house of God first. You know what I'm saying? But you can't reconcile with somebody who doesn't want reconciliation. You know what I'm saying? So if an individual doesn't want reconciliation, same way if an individual don't want the reconciliation of Yahuwah, he don't fool with him. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Now, I didn't just say because you seek reconciliation that reconciliation will be accomplished. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to that, it's literally you gotta have, that's where wisdom come in at. To know what to do and what not to do, who to reconcile with and who to let be. You know what I'm saying? It's more so the aspect of from a godly perspective, reconciliation is always the intent first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? But some people cannot be reconciled with. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I go back to telling you, like, hey, you have to have the courage and the ability to be like, yeah, I'm good. I'm out. I'm not going to do this with you. And a lot of people can't deal with that. The more solidified you are who you are as an individual, and the more you're solidified in who you are in Yahushua HaMashiach, the easier it is to be like, yeah, I'm good, because people don't know how to deal with that when you be like, yeah, I'm straight. I'm not finna do this with you. Because people usually want somebody to go back. And see, because so some people, sometimes that can come off as like you dismissing somebody, but it's really more so if I've determined that this is not going to be a fruit, because sometimes it could be like, okay, this is not going to be a fruitful conversation. We might have to revisit that. Maybe emotions are high. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the third. But when you're dealing with just a pure, unadulterated, sanctimonious douchebag, just, you know what I'm saying, a person that is just intent on being adversarial and offensive and injurious at all costs, yeah, I'm good on you. Yeah, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk. I don't want to do nothing. Good day to you. That eats people up because most people are destitute of attention and affection. So same way you might have a child who acts out because they really just want some attention, so they don't really care how they get it. A lot of adults do that. It's really a cry for help. Nobody paid attention to me. You know what I'm saying? Facts, Mama Steph. The act of ignoring folks is a great thing to master. It drives them crazy. You know what I'm saying? Drives them crazy. It's one thing I've told some of y'all from time to time, man. Just because you get an invitation to a party doesn't mean you have to go. Just because somebody says something about you does not mean you have to respond. You know what I'm saying? Just because somebody wants to argue back and forth doesn't mean that you have to. You know what I'm saying? You be like, yeah, you got it. And that drives people crazy. I'll tell you, people are attention starved because nobody ever gave them attention. And when somebody hasn't had attention, they don't care how they get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really don't care how they get it. Some people don't care if it's positive or negative attention. Someone's paying attention to me because I'm lonely. Mr. Lonely. I'm so lonely. Yeah, ain't nobody dealing with them. And usually people who are like that, ain't nobody dealing with you because you ran everybody away. Listen, just a case in point of the hypocrisy, because it just came to my mind as I said this here, because we were listening to Jason Black talk about this here, right? You got all these people going crazy. And I'm pointing this out for the hypocrisy of the minds of people. They say, okay, Megan said this man cheated on her, and fidelity and trust is a must for me. Meanwhile, you have self-professed to do the same thing to somebody else. And someone will completely ignore that because you're not understanding that that statement was a cry for attention. You know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't just simply separate from this person quietly and just go my way. I had to do something to get attention on me and then cry that I can't deal with the stress of the attention that I wanted in the first place. You know what I'm talking about? And simultaneously painting myself as a victim while destroying this individual, which allows for constant attention to be on me because this is really what I desire. because I don't care how I get the attention as long as I get it. I'm using this as a case study of a microcosm of what you see in everyday life with people, because it's a lot of people who do things just like that because they ain't getting no attention. You know what I'm saying? And then some people did get attention, but they're attention whores. You know what I'm saying? So they will prostitute themselves for attention at all costs. So they don't care what they do to get it and who they get it from. And that's a sign of low self-esteem, absence of self-respect, among other things. You know what I'm talking about? But come on, Sibo. Where we at with it? Verse 18, Ezekiel 28. You have what? Defiled what?
Your sanctuaries by the multitude of your iniquity.
And by the iniquity
of your traffic.
Therefore I will bring forth
a fire from the midst of
you.
you.
He say, ain't a baptized been kindled in me? The same thing as saying Deuteronomy. He say a fire from the what?
From the midst
and
of
it should
you,
do what?
Devour you.
And I will bring you to what?
Ashes upon the earth.
In the sight of what?
All them that behold you.
And they all seen him on that tree when he brought them the ashes, man. Did he say the sprinkling of the ashes of a heifer? My God, today. You see how when we know the law, we pick up on stuff we see as witness. Then when we see as witness, then this is how your wisdom and understanding increases. But when I say that your wisdom and understanding increases, I'm not talking about as the fourth as being able to recite scriptures or recite answers, but your wisdom increases on now you know how to move when you're faced with certain situations and circumstances, and you have the insight in why you're moving this way in order to fulfill the will of God, that his esteem rests on you and that esteem redounds back to him. You understand? Because it's not about your ability to recite verses. That's not what we're here for. We've never been here for that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want y'all to get complacent with that. The reality is you're here to be able to have knowledge of God, which gives you the skill to know how to move with that knowledge, with the insight of why you move in this way according to that knowledge, so that the will of Yahuwah is fulfilled. And that esteem is continually brought to his name, and that you might be filled with the Ruach HaKodesh unto life. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? Leviticus 16. Because if we ain't here for that, we wasting time. I could have been in the bed. Again, programming note, man. 1 o'clock start time on tomorrow, man. 1 o'clock start time, man.
Yahuwah spake unto Moses after the death.
No, that's a fact. Every action does not deserve a reaction. What you at? Leviticus 16. What? You can read. You can read, bro.
Yahuwah spake unto Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron, when they offered before Yahuwah and died.
And Yahuwah
said unto Moses,
speak
unto Aaron your brother,
that he come not
at all times into the Kadesh
within the
veil,
before the
mercy seat,
which is upon the
ark,
that he what?
Die not,
for I will appear.
And the cloud upon the mercy seat.
See, that go back to when we was looking at that whirlwind in Ezekiel. He appeared in the clouds, man, above his throne, man. Come on, man.
Thus shall Aaron come into the Kadesh with a young bullock for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering.
And he should put on the what?
Kadesh linen coat.
And the linen what?
Reaches upon his flesh.
And shall be girded with what?
A linen girdle.
And with a what?
A linen mitre.
And he shall be attired.
These are Kadesh garments. Therefore shall he wash his flesh in water, and so put.
See, that's the same thing with that breastplate. This is the only time he can put this on. That man not walking around every day with that. He ain't showing up on no Sabbath and putting that on. Because it's only one time a year he bear the names of the sons of Yasharal, and that's on the 10th day of the 7th month. You understand? Now, of course, we're dealing with the seat of reconciliation, or the Kapareth, or the mercy seat. So when you're dealing with that particular seat of reconciliation, seat of atonement, and again, going back to what we were reading in Corinthians, is to atone for the corruption that was brought forth in the garden. Remember, in Genesis 3:22, that man said, man, take this, man, lest they eat and what? Live forever. I didn't go back to that chair part. I'm glad I praised Yahuwah that came to my mind. Go back to Genesis 3:22 for me, man. And this is a part of the aspect, of course, y'all should know this with the anointed chair part in Genesis, of the gospel being covered. Now it's not covered no more. That's why he's the anointed cherub that cover. See, it's two things. Number one, the cherubim cover the throne because you can't see who was facing live. But then also the aspect of faith was shut up until that particular time. What does that also show? When the veil was on Moses' face. You know what I'm saying? And that Paul wrote another that's been removed. Because the witness is plain. That's why I say my words are plain to those who have understanding. It's clear. And it is what it is, man. You know what I'm talking about? Come on.
And Yahuwah Elohim said, behold, the man has become as one of us to know good and evil.
That's right.
And now lest he put forth his hand and take also the tree of life.
And do what?
And live forever.
Listen.
Therefore, Yahuwah.
That means if he would have ate from that tree would have turned him from corruptible to incorruptible. That tells us what? He was never incorruptible to begin with. But we already know that because he was made from the dust. Ain't nothing eternal in no dust. And he was flesh and blood. Because the life of the flesh is in the what? Man, look at man. Ain't no blood and no spirit, boy. He said he made his minister flames of fire. These are not congruent. Come on with it, blood.
Therefore, Yahuwah Elohim sent them forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken.
Mm-hmm.
So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life.
What he put there?
Flaming sword.
No, what he put there?
Cherubims.
He put cherubims there because the cherubims cover. Give me what that is, man. Galatians 3 and 17.
In this I say that the covenant that was confirmed before of Elohim and Amashiach, the law, which was 430 years after, cannot disannul that it should make the promise of none effect.
None effect.
For if the inheritance be of the law, it is no more a promise, but Elohim gave it to Abraham by promise.
Listen, we always talk about that man. That man ain't promised Abraham no law. And you a special type of stupid if you think he did. You know what I'm talking about? That's not what he promised that man. Why would I promise you instructions for? What's the purpose of doing that? You'd have to have common sense and know instructions. You know what I promise you? Some rules. What expectation of reward? What tikva or batak you gonna get from, oh, I'm hoping he give me these rules. That don't even make common sense. You don't promise rules, blood. But see, individuals will hear that, and because they simpletons, they gonna sit back and think, oh, that means you ain't got to keep the law. Well, that means you wasn't keeping it anyway. That's what you heard. It simply means that's not what he promised him. He promised him, I'll make your seed a multitude, like the stars of heaven, like the sand of the sea that can't be numbered. And I'm going to give him a land. That's what he promised him. Y'all already know that. Go read Genesis 15, man. Go read Genesis 26, man. Go read Genesis 28. Go read Genesis 35. That man ain't promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob a law, not nan time, and not nan one of them chapters. Not damn time. That's not what he promised them. Because you don't move on that. These men moved on a promise. You remember what Jacob said, man, in Genesis 28, man? When he seen that ladder, man. Do you recall what he said, or do we have to read it? Will you recall what he said, or do we got to read it? My God, today. They don't know what it say. Genesis 28 and 18. Why you don't know what it say, Civic? So I don't know, nigga. I just don't know. Come on.
And Jacob rose up early in the morning and took the stone that he had put for his pillows and set it up for a pillar and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of the city was called Luz at the first.
What up?
Jacob vowed a vow saying.
He did a what?
Vowed a vow saying.
What he vowed though?
If Elohim will be with me.
If Elohim be what?
With me.
So the thing that he vowed, if God be with me.
And will keep me in this way that I
and
go.
Then keep me in this way of life that I'm going, in this Direct that I'm going.
And will give me bread to eat.
And give me what?
Bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in Shalom.
What he said?
Who will be my Elohim?
He'll be my God then. What up?
And this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be Elohim's house, and of all that you shall give me, I will surely give the 10th unto you.
Say praise, amen, man. Amen, man. Listen. Now, of course, you know that's a different conversation. Because you know he talking about giving a 10th. Because niggas act like 10th started in numbers because you stupid. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's another conversation. But for those of you who don't know, if somebody asking you for tithes every week, you supposed to know that you not telling me what this book say, because you only supposed to tithe 3 times a year. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. 3 times a year. Unleavened bread, Pentecost, tabernacle. That's it. Anything else would be votive offerings or free will offerings or things of that nature. And I'm only mentioning that because you should know the distinction and the difference between the three. You should know the difference between the three. Ain't nobody should be passing you no plate talking about where your tithes at. And it's not 10% of your income. It's 10% of your increase. This is for informational purposes. You know what I'm saying? Because you need to know that. Because see, I was talking to Eve about that yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Because people get it misconstrued. People put that pressure on you because ain't nobody going to show you that. Ain't nobody going to tell you that. Because again, and we talked about this before, this goes back to what we were discussing Wednesday with the Acts 2 and the Acts 4, with everybody having all things in common and this, that, there, and the third, because it's a collective effort. But in that collective effort, it's not Yahuwah seeking to put strain or burdens on people. You understand? So what does that mean? That means if Civic had $1 million and he gave 100,000, that 100,000 ain't mean nothing to him. You know what I'm saying? But if Joseph had $100 and he gave 40, that meant something to him. Now, why am I mentioning that? Because it's the equitable distribution. Because this is what happens generally on the natural side of things. An individual who feel like because he gave more than this person, he feel like that person who gave less ain't got no say. Or I get to have more of an input in the XYZ. I'm just going to go ahead and let you know you wicked as hell. And you know how we know that you wicked as hell? Because when you look at that story of David, when the people came at him and say, oh, no, man, they shouldn't get nothing because they stayed back. They ain't come with us. And he said, no, we're going to part the same as those who went out to the battle and those who stayed with the stuff. Yeah, you ain't better than them because you went and did that. Because you gave more, because you had more to give. Simple as that. Because you quantifying it in the amount and not the fact that you had a surplus. Versus this person ain't had no surplus. So they gave a little, they gave a lot out of a little. You know what I'm talking about? And they're a lot out of a little is equal to your surplus in the eyes of God, because that's a just weight and a just balance. But men don't judge things equally. Like they say the way of Yahuwah is unequal. He say, no, you unequal. Because you judging that after man's wisdom, and you can't do that. You can't do that. That's not even the mind of God. That ain't how that works. You know what I'm saying? He says sometimes that less is more. That's that, and indeed, that's why the Lord said that. You know what I'm talking about? That's right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just laying that plain so you understand that, because this is a thing that you're supposed to understand from that mercy seat. But this is the thing that your God understand while he sit on the throne and judge betwixt all of us. But again, we look at that from man's wisdom. Well, I gave more, so I feel like, nigga, that's in the world, cuz. That's in the world. That's what they do. But he say, man, you're not going to be benefactors ruling over each other. And he say, hey, man, if that means if you had that great increase, that means you supposed to serve, blood. So be delighted to serve. And that's what people's problem is. You come in the word and you don't want to serve. The only thing you want to serve is yourself and your interests. Man, he say, man, you better cast away that iniquity and don't let Lauren Hill put it in that record, and don't let selfish motivation be your destruction. You can't be in this thing and be selfish, man. That's the point of what Acts 2 and Acts 4 was about. Them people didn't sit back and look at, oh, this mine and this. No, man, we all in it together, baby. We all in it together, man. I am you and you are me. We one in the same, man. You know what I'm talking about? We in the Mashiach and we members one of another. We don't see it that way. And that's when we have to learn that you have to move to transfer your mind into the mind of a Mashiach. And understand, hey, man, that's carnal stuff. That's what they do in the world. We don't do that inside these gates. We don't do all that. Because at the end of the day, that man told you, hey, man, Give us this day our daily bread. So as long as you got food in your belly, clothes on your back, and a roof over your head, you have everything that you are required to have. Anything else is an extra. So give thanks. But that's, remember, he told the abundance of your life. The man's life doesn't consist in the abundance of things that he possesses. And if you got possessions, then great. And if you don't, great to that. But what you know was the most valuable possession to have? The mind of a Mashiach. That's why he say those who are poor in this world but rich in faith. Tell the nigga that the other day, man, that man told you, hey, there's a man who have great riches yet have nothing. And there's a man who have nothing yet has great riches. See, we don't want to hear stuff like that because it's not palatable to our carnal desire to whatever you desire. You understand? Now, again, this is for perspective. You dig? This is not to admonish, ridicule, or point this here, other than the fact of you can't be sitting back looking at I did more than him, so I'm more important than him. No, you're not. Because he told you in your law, the poor always be among you. And he told you when the feast day pop up, don't forget your Levite, don't forget your widow, don't forget the orphan, and don't forget the stranger. Because they down bad. And the poor, because they down bad. When you read that in Nehemiah, he say, man, send portions to them that are without. Because they down bad. You know what I'm saying? And then when it comes to certain stuff, if you want more, then do more. You can't do the minimal and then expect a great increase, because nigga, that's retarded. And then when I'm talking about doing the minimum, I ain't talking about no money neither, man. You know what I'm talking about? That man told you straight up and down, man. That's your reasonable service. Ain't that what he said, Sid? Go ahead, man. Where you at with it? Yeah, verse 5.
Was we done with Galatians 3 or?
Oh, no, you didn't read what I want. I'm sorry.
Verse 19.
Galatians 3 and 19.
You say, wherefore then served the law, it was added because of transgressions, to the seed should come to whom the promise was made, and it was ordained by Malachim at the hand of a mediator. Now, a mediator is not a mediator of one, but Elohim is one. Is the law then against the promises of Elohim?
God forbid.
For if there had been a law given which could have given life, truly righteousness should have been by the law. But the scripture hath concluded all under sin, that the promise by faith of Yahushua Mashiach might be given to them that believe.
Might believe.
Before faith came, we were kept under the law.
See, before faith came, you were kept what?
Under the law.
But what happened?
Shut up into the faith, which should afterwards be revealed.
That's what, man. That anointed cherub that covered, and them cherubs that's covering that throne, and them cherubs that were covering the way of life was covering up the way of life till it was time to be revealed. Because I heard somebody ridiculing that day, talking about it's a secret. Yeah, it's a secret. Secret just mean a hidden thing. It tell you that in Deuteronomy, the hidden things belong to Yahuwah, but this law is with us and our children as it is this day. Yeah, there's some secret things, man. We just read it in Isaiah 52, didn't we? Niggas act like this man ain't got no hidden things for you. Because listen, man, because everything ain't for everybody. And it is what it is. Listen, we've been preaching the same gospel continually for almost a decade and a half. You know how many niggas be really? Listen, man, I remember one time I was on the phone with Trav. We were talking to somebody, dude say, man, I heard of you, man. They say you crazy because I don't even know this dude. I ain't never talked to this man before. You know what I'm saying? But it's individuals, they talk. Listen, man, I told y'all, man, when we was on the round table, shout out to my man South Showtime on his platform at the time. And when I say, hey, man, the whole book by Yahushua HaMashiach, Guerrilla Hebrew, say, man, that's patently and utterly absurd. That's ridiculous. A pastor at GOCC said the same thing. Man, people don't believe, man, they think that junk crazy. That's why they were ridiculing by us saying, but you think you resurrected from the dead with blood in you, boy? With that being said, because we ain't read it, Ezekiel 37:3. You grown men think you resurrected from the dead with blood in you. What's going on? Listen, man, When that man say it's gonna be but a remnant, the more I hear some of these people talk, well, that remnant gonna be extra small. You hear me? It's gonna be extra small, blood. I ain't gonna lie to you. Go ahead.
And he said unto me, son of man, can these bones live?
Can these what?
Can these bones live?
Notice now, he gonna be literally what you see Yahushua say in Luke 24, do a spirit have flesh and bones as you see me have. Handle me. I need to read the verses Mama been clowning them on. About that man walking through walls with blood in him. Hold on, go ahead.
Again, he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O you dry bones, hear the word of Yahuwah. Thus saith Yahuwah Elohim unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, you shall live. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and you shall live.
And I'll put what?
Put breath in you, and you shall live.
Now notice he said what he said he was gonna put on their bones.
Flesh upon you, cover your skin, cover you with skin.
That man said he literally gonna put, that's a literal Hebrew word for flesh. You understand me? Literal word for flesh. And the other word, he said, I'm a literal, but sinews, that's a literal word for tendons. So I'm gonna literally put flesh and tendons on your bones, which is literally what's on your bones right now. Everything was put on them but the blood. He put the spirit in them. Put the spirit in them. And they stood up and lived. And this nigga talking about you gonna have blood in you, man. God damn it. Go ahead, man.
You shall know that I am Yahuwah. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise.
There was a what?
There was a noise.
What else?
Behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came up upon them.
The tendons and the flesh came on the bone.
And the skin covered them above.
And the skin covered them what?
Above.
What else?
There was no breath in them.
There was no what in them?
No breath in
there was no what in them?
No breath in
so
them.
they had no life in them. If he said the ruach that make alive, when you finish that, you can read 1 John 5.
Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, say to the wind, thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain that they may live.
Breathe upon them what?
Upon these slain that they may live.
Now what they slain for, they dead. They dead. He didn't say put blood in them so they can live, because he said the life of the flesh is in the blood. These niggas is dumb. And when I say dumb, meaning they dumb dogs, they can't bark. They don't know what they talking about. That's done dangerous, bro. Y'all don't understand how dangerous of a thought process that is to tell people they're going to resurrect with blood, man. When this man told you he gave you power to become the sons of Elohim, not by the will of the flesh, not by blood, but by God. And you niggas running around talking about blood all the time. You damn fool. Ain't no blood in heaven, boy. My God, today. Go ahead.
And so I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived.
And they lived.
They stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army.
And they lived. I breathed. Guess what? And what he did with his apostles, he breathed on them and said, receive the Ruach HaKodesh, and they lived. End of the day, a lot of people don't believe in the power of Elohim, man. You understand? They trust in flesh, and that's going to be their destruction. 1 John 5 and 7, man. Because again, what he said he gave the blood for, civic? Atonement for your souls, man. But he gave the Ruach HaKodesh that you might live. But see, they don't want the promise of God because they don't believe in it. They think they got the Holy Spirit because they read the words off the paper. Come on with it, blood.
So for there are three that bear record in Shamaim, the Abba, the Word, and the Ruach HaKodesh.
These three
are one.
And there's three
that bear witness in the earth.
What they
the
get?
Ruach, the water, and the blood.
And these three
agree in one.
What else?
If we receive the witness of men, the witness of Elohim is greater.
It's greater.
This is the witness of Elohim which he have testified of his son.
My God, today. And that's all it's about. It's bearing witness of the Son. Come on back to this Leviticus 16. We finna get off here, man. Again, programming note, man. 1 o'clock start time tomorrow afternoon, man. y'all willing to 3:00 start time, that's over with. That's over with. We always used to start at 1:00, but I ain't gonna tell you no lie. Y'all be late. And you know what I'm saying? Cause see now you know. See, I know some of y'all might have been moving and grooving to be on time because you felt like, okay, we only got to be in the building to such and such. But now, Lord willing, we gonna be up in there. And I ain't gonna lie, I've been done started at a time we'll be done and leaving. Cause y'all need to be. If you can be on time to take your children to Mr. Charlie's school and do this, that, there, and the third, being late on the Sabbath is just completely and totally unacceptable. And them children got their own service too. They need to be there and be on time. You ain't gonna sit here and tell me you're gonna have them on time to learn from Mr. Charlie, but not about their God, nigga. That's abominable. That's abominable. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I ain't had no 8:30 set time for second Passover. I ain't gonna lie to you. Man, it probably start that about 5, 6 o'clock, man. You know what I'm talking about? Start at 1, I'll be done by 3. And I ain't gonna go that long. I ain't gonna lie to you. Definitely not starting at 8:30. I can tell you that. 7:30 at the latest. Come on with it.
Verse 5.
Go ahead.
Saying, he shall take of the congregation of the children of Yasharal 2 kids of the goats for a sin offering and 1 ram for a burnt offering.
Aaron
shall offer his bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself.
Which is for what?
Himself.
And he's going to make it a what?
An atonement for himself and for his house.
Listen, how did Yahushua make an atonement for himself and his house? You wasn't ready for that. He said, how he going? Yeah, Yahushua had to make an atonement for it. He got to fulfill the law. How he made an atonement for himself? I don't see how you're going to answer that one, man. I'll come back and deal with the animals and all that, man. You know what I'm saying? If you want to look at verse 4, as forth as him putting on them Kadash garments and he had to wash his flesh and water to put them on, that's why he got baptized. That's why he say, hey, John, they fulfill us to fulfill our righteousness. You know what I'm saying? It's the elements of the stuff in the law. Some people ain't going to agree. See, this is the thing you have to get on, right? Because I've been, by the grace of Yahushua, preaching the gospel for a long time. I don't care if a nigga agree with it or not. And I'm not finna spend an inordinate amount of time to convince you. We're going to lay it out. You can accept it or reject it. And it don't offend me if you reject it. Now, if you say something stupid, it could piss me off, like these niggas piss me off. But that pissed me off more so not because of the rejecting of the information, but because of the overthrowing of other people's faith. That irritates me. You know what I'm saying? That irritates me. Stupidity doesn't irritate me. Not like it used to. Because before I got in the word, the stupid nigga get on my nerves. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you just get away from me, because you pissing me off. But you know what I'm saying? But when it come to people's souls, bro, that's a serious matter, man. You know what I'm talking about? That's a serious matter, man. Go ahead with it, bro.
He said, he shall take the 2 goats and present them before Yahuwah at the door.
Oh, y'all, there ain't nobody answer that question? Let me help you out. So, you know, in 2 Corinthians 5, Civic, what's happening? Some people are insolent. That's a fact. He became sin who knew no sin. You understand? He said his eyes are too pure to look upon evil. He did the same thing in the foreshadowing of what Adam did. He became sin who knew no sin. Because Adam didn't know no sin. When he took part of the fruit with Eve, he became sin who knew no sin. So Yahushua became sin who knew no sin. Remember, because he said, we mentioned it earlier, he wanted to kill the people as one man. So he did that in Yahushua. And in order for him to do that, Yahushua had to become sin. Or he had to be that reconciliation or that katah, or the purifying for uncleanliness. You understand? So when he become that and he offered himself on that tree, he's literally making the offering for himself, which is himself, because he became sin. So he has to make an offering for himself. And then also himself is the offering for the people. At the same token, Leviticus 16:6.
And Aaron shall offer his bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and make an atonement for himself and for his house.
He shall take
the two goats and present them before Yahuwah at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
And Aaron
Shall cast lots upon the two goats, one lot for Yahuwah, the other lot for the scapegoat.
And Aaron
shall bring the goat upon which Yahuwah's lot fell and offer him for a sin offering.
Now we know that Yahusha is the goat that Yahuwah's lot fell on. Give him lot by definition, man. Go ahead.
That is garal, a lot. Pebbles used for systematically making decisions or portion.
Verse 10.
But the goat on which the lot fell to be the scapegoat shall be presented alive before Yahuwah to make an atonement with him and to let him go for a scapegoat into the wilderness.
Now tell him what a scapegoat means. But Yahusha is also the scapegoat. We're like, well, how is he the scapegoat? Because Barabbas is not the scapegoat. We'd have to look at how is Yahusha the one presented alive to make the atonement as being the scapegoat. Go ahead with that definition.
That is Azazel, that is entire removal. Scapegoat refers to the goat used for sacrifice for the sins of the people.
What is that first definition? What it said? What for what?
You say entire removal or scapegoat.
Entire removal. You know what I'm saying? So this goat is representing the what? The removing the sin because it's for the making of an atonement. So go to Hebrews 7 and 21 because he said he got to be presented alive. So when does Yahusha fulfill being that scapegoat? When he resurrect from the dead. Because now he's going to be presented alive as that atonement because he's both. But see, some people look at, that's what brother kept saying today, man, this junk just don't make sense. And all I think about is Proverbs 8, man, 8 and 5. I'll read it to you. Don't worry about it. I'll tell you what it says. I won't tell you what it say from that book because that page ain't in there. Proverbs 8 and 5 say, O you simple, understand wisdom, you fools, be you of an understanding heart. Hear, for I will speak excellent things, and the opening of my lips, right things. For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There's nothing froward or perverse in them. They are plain to him that have understanding. They are plain to him that understandeth, and right to him that find knowledge. See, everybody expect everybody to pick up on everything, man. Man, hey, some things are plain to those who understand. And if you don't understand it, it ain't plain. Because that's everybody. This stuff don't make no sense. So why you dealing with this? The part I don't understand. And I'm gonna tell you what plain means. It's na koak, noon, kaf, and kot. Straight, right, straightness, to be in front of. Plain, right, or uprightness, equitable, correct, straightforward. So his words are right and straightforward to them that has bene. To perceive, to discern, to understand, to distinguish, to have discernment, to have insight, to have understanding, to have intelligence, to show oneself discerning or attentive, to be prudent or regard. And his words are right to those who have daf, knowledge, perception, or skill, discernment, understanding, and wisdom. Because that's what you have to, or cunning. That's what you have to realize sometimes when you see daf. Daf is the combination of all three. You know what I'm saying? Daf is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding together. You know what I'm talking about? So just looking at it from that particular perspective, because I don't understand how individuals could argue and debate and rebuke and try to expound on something that they admittedly say don't make sense. Now, in my humble estimation, it don't make sense because you don't believe it. So, of course, it's not going to make sense. I mean, I done told y'all this plenty of time before. When I was in that Duval County jail, man, in 2004, it was 2005. You know what I'm saying? Before I went up that road, man, and I was on the 4th floor. You know what I'm saying? Because I was a reader of books anyway. So, you know, need to read the Bible. I ain't reading the Bible because I'm in jail. Like, oh, well, this will get me out. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't think like that because, shoot. But I can remember reading Job and reading Exodus and reading Revelation, like, man, I don't understand. This stuff I don't know what he's talking about. So I just didn't fool with it. Because I'm not going to sit here and read. Do you know the level of arrogance that you have to constantly and consistently discuss something that you say don't make sense and speak about it as if you're an authority? That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Don't make no sense. Don't make no sense. But they do it. But when you understand the gospel of Yahushua HaMashiach, this man's words are plain. They're straightforward. Matter of fact. Not difficult to digest. We're not corrupted from the simplicity that's in them. You know what I'm saying? And you got to understand, man, hey, it's not for everybody, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But I know some people feel like that's a cop-out, but it just is what it is. But come on, son, we got to get off here. What you at? Where you at?
Hebrews 7:21.
Run that and we get out of here.
Said, for those priests were made without an oath, but this with an oath by him that said unto him, the Lord swearing will not repent. You are a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek.
Mm-hmm.
By so much was Yahushua made a surety of a better testament.
Mm-hmm.
They truly were many priests because they were not suffered to continue by reason of death.
By reason of what?
Of death.
What up?
But this man, because he continue ever, have an unchangeable priesthood.
Unchangeable priesthood.
Wherefore he is able also to save them to the uttermost that come unto Elohim by him.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing he ever lived to make intercession.
He ever lived to do what?
Make intercession for them.
What up?
For such a high priest became us, who was Kadash, harmless, undefiled, separate from sinners, and made higher than Shamayim, who need not daily as those high priests to offer up sacrifice, first for his own sins, and then for the people's.
That's right.
For this he did once when he offered up himself.
And now, if he offered up himself and he in the Kadash tabernacle, see what that mean he did? He presented himself before God, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
As an atonement, didn't he? Now we see how he the scapegoat. Now we see how he the one that the lot fell on. And we ain't even got to the part of sprinkling the blood on the mercy seat yet, 7 times. But y'all willing, we'll get further down the line because it's like 35 verses in Leviticus. And for those, hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. I appreciate y'all. Bless y'all the house Elohim in the name of Yahushua. I still got more to add with the blood. We really hit the key points about not being resurrected with blood, but nevertheless, some of y'all who knew don't know this here, like when we take a chapter and go like just straight down, we're not gonna hit all 34 verses like in one. You know what I'm saying? Because we gonna go through them. You know what I'm talking about? Manifest the testimony. Yahuwah and take our time with it. Because I'm gonna tell you something, man. It's a lot of information can be contained in 2-3 verses that sometimes get missed because everybody be in a rush to read through it. You know what I'm saying? This thing a marathon, man. It ain't no sprint. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. We move with a sense of urgency, but we're not rushed. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, when you move with a sense of urgency, it just means you move with purpose. And when you move with purpose, you know exactly where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Like this here, right? You could look at people be like, Lucifer's the devil. His name mean light bearer. Satan can't bear light. And y'all know who else name mean light bearer? The high priest, Aaron. Those who bring light bring life. You know what I'm saying? When you in darkness, you need somebody to bring forth light so you can see. He said, if you walk in darkness, if you don't know what? You don't know where you're going. You think the devil can come bring you light so you can see where you're going? And this man tell you that Elohim is light and no part darkness. What benefit does the devil get to bringing you light? When in him was the light and the light of the life of men, it don't profit him, blood. It don't profit him. Let me see if that's something. See if it pop up. I just hit this button, y'all. Hey, I'm testing something real quick. Did the ad pop up? Let me go and get back on. I'm done. That's why I'm doing this now because I ain't never did this jump before. I'm trying to see how this jump works. Here you go. Let me see what it is. But nevertheless, though, just weigh and consider. But I appreciate y'all. Again, I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? All right, no, it just said insert because it's still delayed. Yeah, just get it. You just delay it, delay it, delay it. You know what I'm saying? But again, y'all, you know what I'm saying? The pastor gonna let us use their facilities. If we use it half the month, he wants us to drop 250. If we use the entirety of the month, the 500 cash. So, you know, we gotta everybody gotta band together and make sure that that's in there. That's our only expense that we have as a group outside of the feast days, but we don't really say nothing to nobody who's not physically here by or not planning on attending as it pertains to money for a feast day. You know what I'm saying? So that don't even matter. But for this one here, everybody show up to get served. So this is so the word can go forth. For those who are not aware, I don't have the direct access to the account. Had never have. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else deal with that, and that junk don't go directly to me. So if you're concerned with that, that's what it is. And if you desire the physical evidence of that, that ain't nothing to produce because I don't really give a damn. You know what I'm saying? As it pertains to that. But nevertheless, so that's where we at with it. You know what I'm saying? For some of y'all who seen it on camera or been there physically, it's a decent spot. You know, we got a full kitchen in there, man. There's an area for the children to be able to continue to be instructed, sound system and instruments and things of that nature to allow us to be able to do a multitude of things. It being close to downtown in Jacksonville don't really mean nothing because don't nobody go downtown, and then the end of downtown in its own is closer to the stadium and the jail, so that don't really mean nothing. But in the actuality, it's in the heart of out east. So y'all would see it and say, "Hey, Philip Randolph, y'all not from here," but those of us who from here, we gonna call it what it was always called, which is Florida Avenue. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Lord willing, there's a multitude of things that we can be able to do, whether in the neighborhood, opportunity to try to tap in with Mo Brew that's in the city. So they can pull up and we can be tapped in, the ability to do live performances of sort as forth as having events in that capacity. Yeah, a multitude of things, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If the Lord permit, along with a couple other things that I won't mention on this camera, because it ain't nothing to be mentioned on camera. You'd have to be live and in person to catch that information. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I know I put that the Cash App thing in there earlier. I'll try to remember to put that junk in there. You know what I'm saying? But that junk got it able to where you can do super chats and you know what I'm saying, all that other stuff. That's at your discretion. I'm only mentioning this here because when word wise, it's not you know what I'm saying. I know people are accustomed, you know, to the collection plate thing, and you know, people asking for offerings and donations and things of that sort. But the reality of the situation is the text does not tell you to compel, incite, or cajole people into doing such things because they were already known that they're supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I said, go back to what we were talking about in Acts chapter 2 and Acts chapter 4, man. You know what I'm saying? The things of that nature, because it facilitates things. This facilitates covering that expense. It facilitates the ability to have resources for those who are in need. You know what I'm saying? It facilitates purchasing the food. You know what I'm saying? For things of that sort. You know what I'm saying? It can facilitate purchasing, you know, toiletries for particular things. You know what I'm saying? It can facilitate a multitude of different things. You know what I'm talking about? So that's what that is. You know what I'm saying? So we have to make sure that you handle that. And you can't sit back and look at it and be like, well, I feel like I need to put, man, if you ain't got but $1, then that's what you got. You know what I'm saying? That means we only need 499. You know what I'm talking about? And to for all clarity, ain't nobody gonna be keeping no records of what nobody gave, anything of that nature, because you ain't supposed to be doing that either. I know they do that in churches because I think we talked about this before. Because they're 501c3 entities, so they have to have corporate entities, and you can write your tithes and offerings off on your taxes. You know what I'm saying? So because you can write them off on your taxes, that's why they keep. Honestly, that's 100% reason why they keep record of what you give, because it can be written off on your taxes. Most of the time, from what I've been able to ascertain, I don't think that most of these organizations are giving people a ledger of what they gave so they can write them off on their taxes. You know what I'm saying? But they supposed to give you that so you can write them off on your taxes. Uh, for full disclosure, we're not a LLC, a 501c3, a S corp, a C corp. As a legal entity, this congregation does not exist. Uh, if there came a time where assets were to be purchased, then of course we would go about illegally incorporating, but we wouldn't be a nonprofit. I know I discussed this with everybody off camera. We wouldn't be a 501c3 because that's when you get boards, and like some of y'all know about this stuff. That's when, because it's going to go against the word, because that's when the point where you have a board of trustees that can pick who the preacher is, and they can put the preacher out and this, that, there, and the third. And because that's how legal corporate structure is set up. Most people don't know from a 501c3, it's a tax exempt status, but the church, if you would, the congregation is set up like a corporation. You know what I'm saying? You got S Corp, C Corps. You know what I'm saying? You can set up an LLC like a corporation, depending on the operating agreement you draft up, but most people don't. You know what I'm saying? When they make an LLC, because they usually single person LLCs, so they ain't really don't need to do that. But when you incorporate, there's a lot of things that go into that. You know what I'm saying? So, like we discussed when we were discussing, effectively you're in business, and I'm not in business, not with no word anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care nothing about paying taxes to them people, because that man said, "Hey man, give unto Caesar's what is Caesar, so they can have it." And care nothing about paying no taxes. You know what I'm saying? And niggas have to be on that. So what? Pay them taxes then. What you care for? You see what I'm saying? Because, like I say, man, we not in business. Not with no word. This is something that I've stated to everybody for years. You know what I'm saying? So they know that. But no, we're not in business. Because when you're in business to make a profit. You know what I'm saying? See, when they say non-profit, that just means that you're saying not that you're not grossing revenue, or not that even that you ain't making a profit. That just means that's not your objective. But best believe a lot of these nonprofit organizations, they making money, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Not every nonprofit, you know what I'm saying, but mainly your main ones that you may know of. So they mention this here because it's fair. You come to cop. So it's usually things that I don't discuss on camera, because certain things I just don't care to discuss on camera. But I don't really give a damn. You know what I'm saying about discussing this here, because it ain't nothing to not discuss openly, so you can know. Because if you come to get popped off, then it's all gravy for you to know. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's where we at with that. But I say that we are not in business. So I've always told everybody that we'll never be a 501c3 entity. That'll never happen. You know what I'm saying? And not for the reasons that most people think that it won't happen. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you can't preach what you want. That's a fallacy. That's not true. You know what I'm saying? That's more so of the congregation would have to be turned into a business, and we're not doing that, because that's not congruent with the word. So we're not doing that. Yeah. And what I mean by that is because if you start purchasing assets, it can't be in a single person's name, because that means that it would revert back to them. You know what I'm saying? Now, Brother Marvin mentioned this, which effectively you could do, you could put the assets in a trust, but to put it in a trust from a business, you know what I'm saying? There still has to be a a legal entity that you're doing it in. Because if it's not, then it has to be an individual person's name. You know what I'm saying? And what that means is that you just make a multi-person LLC and individuals who, for lack of a better term, this is why people say they have a member role. That's when you go to churches and they be like, oh, you got to be on the member role because you're part of the corporation. So that's why they have those roles. You know what I'm saying? Because that's corporate structure. You know what I'm saying? That's how that goes. Because you would be a member of the corporation, so they have to put you on it. So that comes into where anybody who's of the entity name get put on them. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the assets are owned by the entity and not an individual. You know what I'm talking about? And that's why it'd be that slippery slope, because the assembly was never, when I say the assembly, I'm not talking about us specifically. The assembly was never intended to be melded with Caesar in this fashion. You know what I'm saying? To keep it a bean with you. You know what I'm saying? That was never the intent. You know what I'm saying? And I've always been cognizant of that and known that, like, it was never the intent. People just do it because that's the system that we live in and operate in. But the reality is, it wasn't never supposed to be melded in this capacity. So, but I'll let y'all get off here because it's almost midnight, though. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all willing, man. I'll catch you in the afternoon.